coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with a qualifying account. Just visit noblegoldinvestments.com now and use the promo code TRUMP. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Staying active and healthy as we age starts with strong bones. To keep your bones strong, you need calcium, vitamin D, and regular exercise. A bone density test called DEXA helps detect low bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant.
Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
What's happening, good people of Memphis? Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings on this Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you for the final time this week in the Family Leisure Studios. We will move our studio to TPC Southwind starting tomorrow for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. The Pro-Am tomorrow, round 1 on Thursday. We are in, though, as I mentioned, the Family Leisure Studios today. It's where family and fun come together. Family Leisure's got their biggest spa sale of the year going on right now. Save thousands on everything from hot tubs to cold plunges to swim spas and much, much more. Special financing available, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you each and every day by the great folks at the Big Green Egg. Weather-wise, going to start to heat up a little bit more today. Yesterday was pretty nice, so we had a nice little run, but it's going away. Right now it is 77 degrees. It will get up to 93 today, but more clouds than sun, and that's a reprieve when you have a little bit of cloud cover. Very, very minimal chance of precipitation, about a 2% chance. Tonight, though, about a 20% chance, as it will be clear skies, make that cloudy skies, and 75 degrees for a low. Tomorrow, we're looking at only a high of 87, so tomorrow should be really nice for the Pro-Am. And then 97 high Thursday, 95 Friday, 94 Saturday, 90 Sunday for the FedEx St. Jude Championship, but of course, subject to change. Coming up on the program today, we're talking college football, specifically the SEC with Connor O'Gara at 7:25. At 8:30, the president and CEO of ALSAC, which is the fundraising and awareness organization for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, Rick Shadyac, will join us at 8:30 as we get ready for another year of the FedEx St. Jude Championship and all the money that is brought in through this great event. And then at 9:05, our weekly golf segment, which is coming to a close in a couple of weeks. Mickey Barker will join us, the golf administrator for the city of Memphis. We'll have Humdingers Trivia, give you a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. 888-255. Plenty of college football to talk about. The preseason AP Top 25 poll was released yesterday after we wrapped up the show. We got some NFL news to get to. Also, the latest with the arbitration panel and the decision on the Childs bronze medal from the gymnastics. Will Jordan Childs get to keep it or not? We'll give you the latest on that. And, of course, we are closer to the start of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. That's all coming up on the program today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, yesterday ended up being pretty nice again.
It was very nice yesterday.
I went out to the golf course and calm before the storm. Saw first guy I walked upon was Jordan Spieth, who played in the Wyndham. And then I saw Will Zalatoris on the putting green, played at the Wyndham. So I'm assuming they had a plane and took the guys over to Memphis who played in that event in North Carolina. And I could hear the mumblings going on inside the putting green, which is fenced off from the folks. And I could hear them say how nice the weather is and a surprise here in Memphis. And I just wanted to jump in and say, yes, it is. But just wait. Just wait. But hopefully it will be like we've had the last few days. I know the prediction, as I just said, is for warmer temperatures and higher humidity. But maybe we get a break. But it doesn't matter. We're used to it. We embrace it. We love it. And we'll be out there tomorrow starting at 7 a.m.
That is correct. Yeah, if it is a little hotter, hopefully we will get maybe some cloud cover, and that'll keep it a little cooler possibly. And but it's August in Memphis.
Here's the one thing I've learned, and
they can blame the Olympics.
I better remember to do this because talk is cheap. That hub gets cold. So if you come visit us in the hub, it gets really cold. It's a nice reprieve when you're out there and you're sweating and it's hot and you go into the hub. But when you're there for 3 hours to do your radio show, unless they're going to cut it down, that air condition is blasting, which I like, but I'm going to probably have to bring a little bit of a light jacket or something like that because I remember last year just hit you like a ton of bricks how cold it was. But we'll be inside the hub, which is just off the 18th fairway, and we'll be broadcasting all day long. So certainly looking forward to that. Interviews will begin today. They'll have some interviews today and then interviews tomorrow. Tomorrow's the Pro-Am. The golfers normally play just the 9 holes and then work on their game and get ready to kick it off on Thursday.
Coming up later in the program, got a chance for you to win some tickets to go out tomorrow to the Pro-Am. So stay tuned for that opportunity to win some tickets to go watch the guys. They'll all play 9 holes in the Pro-Am. Or the ones that play, they'll play 9 holes as the amateurs will play with 2 different pros. But go out and watch the guys in action tomorrow with the Pro-Am. We'll give you some tickets, a chance to win some tickets coming up later in the show.
Well, apparently the White Sox have figured out what the problem is. It was their manager because Grady Sizemore now takes over, and he delivers in a big way. Well, his team delivers. The Chicago, and this is why I love sports. You just never know, day to day, specifically in baseball. 12-2, the White Sox beat the Yankees. What?
Yeah, that was the Yankees, I think, were a minus 350 favorite in that game. Because why? I mean, they're just playing the White Sox. You're automatically like a minus 200-something favorite. Yeah, that was that's a bit of a shocking score for Grady Sizemore to finally get his first win after the Cubs came in and beat up on him for a couple of games. He gets his first win now against the Yankees.
Yeah, the interim skipper, I doubt very much Grady Sizemore will be the long-term skipper of the White Sox, but you just never know. We had very late in the evening when I was in bed and sugar plums were dancing in my head, the Atlanta Braves beat the Giants 1-0 in an old-fashioned pitcher's duel. You don't see these too often. Atlanta beat San Francisco 1-0. Atlanta had 4 total hits. The San Francisco Giants had 3 total hits, and it went 10 innings. It was a sacrifice fly that won it for Atlanta. Blake Snell, who had the no-hitter recently for San Francisco, started, pitched 6 1/3, gave up just 2 hits, struck out 11, walked 3, ironically threw 114 pitches in 6 1/3 innings. That was the amount, I believe, that he threw total when he threw the no-hitter. But Chris Sale threw 7 innings for Atlanta, gave up 3 hits, no walks, struck out 12. He threw 107 pitches. So Snell and Sale providing the very rare pitcher's duel out on the left coast last night.
Yeah, figured to be a pitcher's duel with those two guys going. Snell has seemed to, has now kind of figured things out after struggling early in the year. He's been good here recently, and Chris Sale, pretty much all year, has looked like the Chris Sale of old. He was dominant last night once again. He has the ability to be really dominant when he's on.
You also had a pitcher's duel in San Diego. Padres beat the Pirates 2-1 in a game that featured only 13 total hits. Pirates had 7 hits and the 1 run. Padres scored 2 on just the 6 hits. Padres now 67-53. They're now 14 games over 500.
I said at trade deadline, I loved what they did with that bullpen and what they're. I don't know if they can catch the Dodgers, but that is it. And they got Musgrove back, so they are getting healthier. If they could get you Darvish back, that is a really dangerous team in the postseason.
All right, wanted to talk football here to start things off after a little bit of baseball conversation. But yesterday, the AP preseason top 25 poll came out. And again, it's a preseason poll. I know you don't make too much of a big deal about it, but it's an interesting conversation piece. There is, and I'm trying to find McMurphy's tweet from yesterday, but there is something to say about being ranked in the preseason in the top 5 or 6. Let's say here. He says, where is it? Let me find this. Boy. Here you go. Want to know this year's national champion? I've narrowed it down to 7 teams, which has worked in picking national championships in 18 of the last 20 years. There's only been 2 different teams in the last 20 years that were outside of the top 7 that won the national championship. So yesterday when the poll came out, by the way, you had 9 SEC teams and 6 Big Ten teams. So they comprise 15 of the 25. In fact, the Power 4 conferences comprise 24 of the 25, with the other being the independent school Notre Dame. But Georgia, with 46 first-place votes, was 1. Ohio State with 15 first-place votes, 2. Oregon got 1 first-place vote, finished 3rd. Then Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame. There's your top 7. After that, you had Penn State, Michigan, Florida State to round out the top 10. I'll talk about the other ones in just a moment. But history would tell you that the national champion is going to come from that top 7.
That would make sense.
But is there a team outside of that top 7 that has the ability to win it all? And I would think that there are a few, but when I look at it just off the top of my head here in the preseason, Penn State, probably the same deal. Really good, not good enough in the Big Ten. Michigan, after winning a natty, is going to take a step backwards. They lose J.J. McCarthy. They lose Blake Corum. They lose a bunch of guys from that team. Still will be a very competitive team, but I don't see them. And then there's Florida State, which is an interesting one. When we asked Barrett Sallee yesterday about who he thinks the best team is outside of the Big Ten and the SEC, had a tough time coming up with one, and ended up with Oklahoma State. And I kept saying, what about Florida State? What about Florida State? And it wasn't that he didn't like Florida State. He just wasn't enamored with Florida State. And they're sitting there at number 10. You got Missouri at 11, which certainly has the ability to win a lot of games with Brady Cook back and Luther Burden. LSU is 13, and it was Barrett who said, don't sleep on LSU, and I won't. I think LSU has a chance to be pretty good, but are they national championship good? Tennessee, 15th. Oklahoma, 16th. Texas A&M, 20th. than the rest of the SEC schools. I think it's probably a good bet. And I would even throw out Notre Dame. I've seen it too many times here in recent history. Notre Dame is really, really good enough to get into a 14 playoff and then get slaughtered. So I would say the top 6, and that includes Ole Miss. And it's hard to believe that they are in that mix, even though they had a great year last year. It's just that historically, going back, I know, to the ancient times, they had some pretty powerful teams. But I'm talking about here in the last 30, 40, 50 years, they're not in the mix. But they are firmly in the mix this year with Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Alabama. I don't necessarily see anybody else flirting with that. Do you?
No, I mean, if you're picking a national champion right now, you would go out of that, I think, probably top 7 for sure.
So in others receiving votes, the question was whether or not Memphis would be number 1 in the group of 5 or out of the group of 5, and they were not. Boise State got 47 points, which placed them 28th if you stretch it out. Then Liberty got 32 votes, or 32 points. They were number 31. Liberty's got most of their guys back. They had a great year last year, and they got clobbered in the bowl game. Then you have the Tigers of Memphis at 34. They got 16 points. UTSA from the American, 37th. They got 6. And number 38 right behind UTSA is Tulane from the American. They got 5 points. And a couple of other SEC schools received some points as well. Some some acknowledgement. Kentucky got 3 points, and Auburn got 2 points.
There were 8 voters who had Memphis on their ballot. All of them had them either 24th or 25th. Most of them had them 25th. If there's one person that you want to, I guess, like if you're a Memphis fan, that would be Damian Sordelet from the Roanoke Times.
How about that?
Who has the Tigers at 20th.
It's pretty obscure. Roanoke Times.
Matt Baker from the Tampa Bay Times had him 25th. John Steppe from the Cedar Rapids Gazette, 25th. Stephen Johnson, who used to be here covering them, who now is with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, had them 25th. Steve Wiseman from the Durham Herald-Sun had him 24th. Reese Davis, 24th. Matt Brown of the Athletic, 24th. And John Wilner of the San Jose Mercury News had him 25th. That's your Memphis votes. For Ole Miss fans, if there's one guy in this voting panel that does not seem to believe in the Rebels this year,
or maybe has a grudge against Lane Kiffin,
Chris Murray from Nevada Sports Net had Ole Miss 15th. He had him 8th among SEC schools.
Wow.
His ballot is a little... let me find his ballot. He has Oklahoma 6th, Missouri 7th, Tennessee 8th, with Ole Miss at 15th.
Look, it's going to be a crapshoot, I think, after Georgia and Texas and Georgia, I believe. Although it wouldn't shock me if Alabama, Ole Miss, a few others won the SEC. But where he had those other schools, okay. But where he has Ole Miss is crazy. If Ole Miss finishes that low for a program, again, that usually isn't in this position, they're going to pile on Lane Kiffin. They have the goods. They have everything you need to make a great run this year and to be in the playoff. So, yeah, they finish that low, that'll be a problem. That would probably mean Jackson Dart went down with an injury, something major happened, because I don't see it.
I think there's only two other voters that had Ole Miss outside of the top 10. I think a couple had him like 11th or 12th. But he certainly is the lowest. And to see, again, 8th among SEC schools is a little bit crazy as far as that is concerned. When you're talking about just the difference in ballots, all of that stuff. And Ole Miss got more good news as Deion Smith, the JUCO wide receiver, apparently now has officially been cleared and will be joining the team. I mean, they just keep adding wide receivers. Like, it's crazy.
More weapons for Dart.
Their receiving core has a chance to be amazing. Like, the depth alone is just insane as they keep on adding. They got the Utah State guy last week or a couple weeks ago. Now you add this guy coming in as one of the top junior college receivers. Like, they've got a just embarrassment of riches at the wide receiver position.
Well, your go-to is Trey Harris.
Yeah.
And then Caden Priestcorn, the former Memphis Tiger, who I believe is an NFL tight end, and I've believed it since he was here in Memphis, will be a big target for Jackson Dart.
And I was looking, Bet Online has their odds for the top passer, yardage-wise, in each conference, the Power Four.
Yeah.
And Jackson Dart is 6-1 to be the leading passer in the SEC. I would say there's some value there.
I think there's a lot of value. Carson
Beck is 3-2, then Quinn Ewers at 2-1, and then Jackson Dart third among the SEC quarterbacks at 6-1. I would, with that group of receivers and in that offense, I think you got there's some at 6-1. That's some value.
Yeah, I can see Georgia getting big leads and running the ball behind that big offensive line. Ewers, who I think has a great chance to lead the conference in passing, has to go up now against SEC secondaries. So we'll see if he has any issues with that. Dart at 6-1 seems like a pretty good bet. So a couple of other notes from this top 25. 18 of the last 20 AP preseason number one ranked teams failed to win the Natty, including Georgia last season. Only Alabama in 2017 and USC in 2004 overcame the preseason number one jinx. That's according to Brett McMurphy. Florida, the Gators, and we talked yesterday about the coaches that could be on the hot seat. I don't think there's going to be too many from the SEC. We mentioned the situation with Sam Pittman, and we talked a little bit more about Billy Napier. Florida's final 5 games are against ranked opponents. Is this correct? Georgia, yes. Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State. Georgia and Jacksonville in the cocktail party November 2nd. At Texas, November 9th. Host LSU November 16th. Host Ole Miss November 23rd. At Florida State, November 30th. 1-4, 13, 6, and 10 in the preseason if you're scoring at home. That's nuts.
By the way, Tulane and their 5 points they got in the poll, that all came from one person. So they can thank Craig Stevenson of the Alabama Media Group, who had them at number 21, representing all of their points. He's the only person that believes Tulane is a top 25 team.
Every year for the past 21 seasons, except 2019, there has been at least one preseason top 10 team that finished the season unranked. That's crazy. Every year for the past 21 seasons except 2019. Last year, it was number 6 USC. So who in the top 10 do you think it will be that will finish outside the top 10? If it happens. But history tells you it will.
Outside the top 25.
Excuse me, outside the top 25. That's even worse. Outside the top 25.
I would say Michigan or Florida State.
Really? If Florida State...
I like Florida State, but if something
they lose to Memphis, they're on their way to be...
DJ Uiagalelei went out or something.
Right.
I could see them falling. But I would say Michigan if I had to pick one.
Well, if they lose to Memphis, that they're on their way to that possibly happening. Not that, again, the Tigers are a very good team and a very capable team, but I'm just saying that's probably would need to happen for them to finish that far outside the top 10 and outside the top 25 in this case. I would think that Michigan certainly, maybe even Notre Dame, but we went over that schedule yesterday, and some of those teams that are usually formidable on that schedule are not so much, not this year anyway. Notre Dame has a couple tough ones, but usually they got about 5 or 6 of them. So anyway, some interesting tidbits from the top 25, but once again, Memphis behind Boise, behind Liberty in the preseason Associated Press Top 25 College Football Poll. We're going to talk more college football in just a moment with Connor O'Gara. Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. It's a lawn treatment service, not a lawn mowing service. Brandon Holly and his team of professionals can take care of your lawn today. Just give them a call at 901-867-5626 or go online to lawnsolutionsinc.net. Locally owned, family operated. They kill the weeds, get you that green, plush, beautiful lawn. They control the germination of weeds all year long. They're applying post-emergence right now during the summer months, and even during the winter when your grass is dormant, they're applying pre-emergence, taking care of your lawn 12 months a year. They can take care of any disease your lawn has, any insect infestation, whether it's grub worms or moles or anything that is chewing up your lawn. Call the best people in town. That's Lawn Solutions to take care of your lawn today. LawnSolutionsInc.net on the web, 901-867-5626. That's 901-867-5626. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Getaway Sports Talk. Best kept secret in town. Open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garden created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Come up on 6 pool tables. Just here in town. Grab your pool swimming, get you some more water. Chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 p.m. on Radio 1625. Getaway Sports Talk, 2632 Winchester.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianellerroofing.com.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Starting to crank up again with a little bit more volume out here on 240 East and westbound over here at Mill Branch. Had that earlier wreck in the Midtown area on 240 East southbound at South Parkway that had traffic a little bit slow down through there for the last 15-20 minutes. It continues to build on 51 southbound coming down through Millington all the way into Woodstock. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:27 the time. Hour number 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, August 13th, 2024 edition. We've been talking Little baseball, but mostly college football. The preseason AP Top 25 college football poll came out yesterday. We've been kind of going over that today since it came out after we wrapped up our Monday edition. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as football is just about ready to get going. Each and every, or make that every other Tuesday, we get to talk college football with Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com and SaturdayTradition.com. Here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
He, in fact, is the senior national columnist for Saturday Down South. Also the host of the Saturday Down South podcast, which is terrific. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. He is Connor O'Gara, who joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. How are you?
Gentlemen, doing really, really well. I love it when the preseason AP poll comes out because it does really feel like the final countdown. Like fall camp is one thing, but when that preseason poll hits, it's like, man, we're like just a couple weeks away from actual football.
Was there anything, and again, it's the preseason poll, I understand, although we were talking in our first segment about some of the trends over the years where teams need to be in a certain spot to really have a chance to win a national championship. There's nothing etched in stone, but just tradition and history will tell you that. Is there anything that surprised you?
Nothing that was too stunning. I do think that there are some pretty noteworthy things, like the fact that, we need to talk more about how difficult it is for the preseason number one team in the AP poll to win a national championship.
Right.
I've been saying this for several years, like since 2005. The only team that started off as the preseason AP number one who went on to win a national championship was 2017 Alabama. So that means, hey, this is going to be difficult for Georgia, now preseason number one in this internet age. I just think there is a lot to it with how long the college football offseason is. But, yeah, looking at things like, Ole Miss having its highest preseason ranking since the Tricky Dick Richard Nixon administration, 1970. Things like that stand out to me. How about this, guys? Like, can you imagine being a Michigan fan and looking at the preseason poll and being like, wait a minute, Penn State is ahead of us?
Mm-hmm.
The team that our interim coach, the guy who got the job, Sharon Moore, literally went into Happy Valley and said, I don't care if we just run the ball every single play. We're going to beat you that way. And Penn State is ranked ahead of Michigan to start the year. Things like that always kind of stand out. It feels very top-heavy for the SEC to have 9 teams in the top 25. Certainly bodes well and speaks to the strength of the conference. But, yeah, I mean, even things like Iowa being at 25, I think Iowa's wildly underrated. We can get into the offense if you really want to, if you're a sicko. But, yeah, plenty of things stand out.
It was interesting. I don't know year to year, like I'd have to, what the preseason is, but like the fact that the similarities to the coaches poll. I mean, it's the same 25 teams, and there are very few little alterations to the coaches poll.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I gave up on the coaches poll like 6 years ago. I did. I pretty much decided, you know what? This isn't worth my time. It's not worth getting mad about. It's different with the AP poll when I feel like those people are in a similar position that I'm in, and we're now doing weekly rankings on SaturdayDownSouth.com, shameless plug, wherein all of our writers come up with our weekly top 25. We're going to do this like late every Saturday night to be able to have that on Sunday morning. So now, not necessarily being part of the AP process, but being part of the process on a weekly basis, I'm going to, I think, scrutinize this more than I ever have. And I do think that there are certain things that I just get really frustrated by, that if the coaches or the AP voters look at strength of schedule to do a preseason ranking, I just think that's the dumbest thing in the world, and they should lose their vote if they do that, because that just shouldn't determine a ranking. But, yeah, I do think that if you're still looking at the coaches poll and getting really upset, just remember it's probably some intern or somebody like working, some secretary or something like that, office administrator or assistant, who's just filling this out at the 11th hour and probably just looking at whatever groupthink it is.
Well, I mentioned in our first segment, there is an AP voter who has Ole Miss ranked 15th in the country and 8th among SEC schools.
Don't like that. Don't like that one bit. I don't have 8 teams being better than Ole Miss. I actually had Ole Miss at 5th and Alabama at 6th, which you'd say, Connor, you're a hypocrite. You just said Penn State shouldn't be ranked ahead of Michigan. I think it's a little bit different when the greatest coach in the history of this sport steps down, and you look at all the moves that Ole Miss made in the transfer portal, as opposed to an Alabama team that still has talent returning, obviously, most notably Jalen Milroe at the game's most important position, but was also exposed to the 30-day transfer window, and that's not nothing. So, I do think that anybody that's looking at Ole Miss and saying, well, this team just isn't particularly good, I'm like, all right, then what do you want from an 11-win team that won a New Year's Six Bowl, that is top fourth in the country, or top 1/4 among FBS teams in percentage of returning production, coordinator continuity, huge portal additions? Like, what do you want then if they're going to be 50?
Connor O'Gara joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you about some of the big non-conference games to kick off the season, and most of them involve an SEC school. And so I started to look at the top 10 ranked teams in this preseason poll and who they play non-conference. And I looked at Ohio State, and I had to do a double take because they play 9 conference games in the Big Ten. And I looked at their 3 non-conference opponents, and it's crap. And I thought to myself, if Ryan Day doesn't beat Michigan or doesn't win the Big Ten and has that non-conference schedule, which, again, has nothing to do with conference play, but it does as far as the national playoffs are concerned, he's out. They play nobody, Connor. Shouldn't that be held against them?
It all changes with the 12-team playoff. I mean, if they go 10-2, and if they get into the playoff, even if they lose to Michigan and they go on to win a national championship, all is forgiven. It's so weird. And you know what? In some ways, it actually makes some of these season opening games, in which I think off-season opinions can shift so drastically in college football after talking about it for 8-9 months, where all of a sudden you're just like, oh, well, this team is not what we've been saying for this entire period of time based on this 60-minute sample size. It almost puts more emphasis on that as opposed to some of the late season Ohio State, Michigan potential ramifications of that. But I mean, look, I do think that Ryan Day is in an extremely unique situation where I think we throw around the term title or bust too often. But if there was ever a case for that to be kind of the standard, the expectation for a coach, this is kind of it, for the reasons that you just outlined right there. But yeah, I mean, there will be some room for interpretation if they lose that game, because you still have to play in the playoffs potentially if you're going to be 10-2, and who knows what can happen after that. For all we know, they're going to get redemption on Michigan in the playoffs, and they're going to be able to beat them there in the more important game.
Well, I think you make a great point about that. Obviously, with a 12-team playoff as opposed to the 4, yes, you have the opportunity. But Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall are the 3 non-conference opponents. Why do you even schedule anybody tough if you're any of these SEC schools? But they continue to do so. I mean, it's probably, a mandate from Sankey.
Well, they have to schedule a Power 5.
Yeah, but to play a Power 4, an actual power, not just a member of the Power 4. In other words, here we got Georgia, Clemson, Texas, Michigan, Bama, Wisconsin, LSU, USC, Tennessee, NC State, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Florida, Miami. And then we have what I just rolled off my tongue with Ohio State.
Yeah, didn't Ohio State have a series canceled? They were supposed to play Washington. They were supposed to play Washington. That's what it was. All right, I'm just now remembering this because I'm like, Ohio State doesn't usually do that. Ohio State actually schedules in non-conference. But they had to cancel the Washington matchup because it was going to be obviously conference play.
Okay,
so
I'll slide him a little slack. Yeah, I'll slide him a little slack. But the facts are facts, and that's who they play this year.
I mean, don't sleep on Akron, Joe Moorhead. I know there are a lot of very dismal rankings of them and where they stand going into the season. Year 3, Joe Moorhead is when it always pops. That's what I always say.
I like Joe.
Joe's the best. But yeah, this schedule for Ohio State, man, like it is super favorable. It's why I have them being able to get off to an undefeated start. I think they're going to be the only undefeated team in college football going into the 12-team playoff.
In your top 25, your preseason top 25, do you have any group of 5 teams, like maybe Memphis?
I don't, but I do have Memphis getting the bid from the group of 5 to be able to play in the playoffs. So I will give Memphis that. But guys, it is tougher than ever to be able to figure this out. And for the group of five, you have seen what this now looks like, in which you can have your best players get poached. They can go to a bigger school for more money. And, look at a situation like what Georgia State, for example. Georgia State ends this, a pretty ho-hum season, obviously. And Marcus Carroll, their leading rusher, the guy who got more carries per game than anybody in college football, he goes to Mizzou because he's like, why wouldn't I want to go to a place that just turned Cody Schrader into that? And then Nate Noel leaves App State to go to Mizzou and do the same exact thing just to get a bigger stage. Even if those guys get a lesser workload, they're still looking at it going, man, the opportunity is just too good. And, yeah, Sean Elliott ends up leaving a couple of months later from Georgia State, so that's a little bit different. But I just think it's tougher than ever for those group of five teams to truly stand out. Now, I talked to Alex Golish about this back in, I think, March, and he was saying how we feel so fortunate because the guys that we truly wanted to stay stayed. Now, they had some guys leave in the portal, but they're like, you know what, it wasn't going to be worth it for us. So that's kind of more how these group of five teams are weighing it and why it's so difficult for them to have those studs that are returning on a yearly basis.
Yeah, and since you brought up Golish, I love South Florida. I've never understood, once Leavitt left, why they didn't sustain at least some credibility as a football program. They were really good under Jim Leavitt, and they were, they just became a FBS school and program in the 90s at some point, right? So it's not like they've been doing this for a long time as an FBS team, and Leavitt had them really playing well, and then they went down the crapper. I don't get it. As long as they have some money in their coffers to pay through NIL, playing in Tampa, going to Florida for these kids, I mean, maybe they'd like to play at the University of or Florida State or Miami at first choice, but then all the rest of that talent that's in that state, if you can keep some of that, you should be in good shape if you're Alex Golish moving forward.
Yeah, I would think so. And they're going to have the new on-campus stadium. They're breaking ground on that this fall, and it looks pretty incredible. Charlie Strong had a minute there where it looked like it was really turning around. Willie Taggart as well in the 2010s. But, yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit more difficult. I don't know how much you can just blame the venue for that, playing at Raymond James, a place that, look, if you've been there, it's cool, but it's weird that USF plays there. It doesn't really feel like it's part of, the culture there, so to speak. And you got to remember, like, you're behind all these other schools just within the state of Florida. And now, I mean, think of the amount of schools that can recruit in Tampa. I mean, even Indiana goes down into Tampa when they had Tom Allen there with his ties to the area. Like, everybody's got ties to that area. And you can go down and get a Michael Penix who decides that he wants to go to a place like Indiana instead of staying home at like a USF. So, yeah, I do think it's a little bit tricky from that standpoint. But, yeah, Alex Golish feels really confident about his group. It's a nice place to be able to recruit from the portal as well.
One of the interesting matchups to start the season is the Notre Dame game at Texas A&M, where A&M is the favorite in that game, and the line's actually moving in their favor. What do you think of that matchup? What do you think of Texas A&M going into this season?
Yeah, I think Texas A&M is going to play with everybody on its schedule. Now, having said that, I didn't think they deserved to start off in the top 25. And if you're saying, like, all right, well, then where's the disconnect? They've lost 11 consecutive road games. 11 consecutive true road games. Think about this, guys. The last time they won a true road game was October 16th, 2021. The starting quarterbacks of that game were Zach Calzada and Connor Bazelak. Yeah, that is wild to think about. So this game is different because it's at home, right? And you're playing against a Notre Dame team that, look, I think Notre Dame, you're still waiting for that Marcus Freeman identity to be all over this team. I think this is the year in which that happens. And, yeah, some of it is tied to whether or not Riley Leonard can stay healthy this year. And there will be a lot of eyeballs on that reunion with Mike Elko. Obviously, they were both at Duke the last couple of years. But I think that it's going to be interesting to see kind of how this A&M offensive line holds up. That's the question that I have moving forward with this team. It's not quarterback. It's not on that defensive line. If you don't know the name Nick Scorton, you absolutely should. He and Shamar Turner are going to be one of the best duos on the defensive line in all of college football. But I think the Irish are still going to be able to win that game. And I think it's a little bit reminiscent of like the 2018 Clemson Texas A&M game early in the Jimbo Fisher era. College Game Day was in the house. Everybody's like, oh, A&M just took them down to the wire, a Clemson team that went on to win a national championship. And I think we say A&M, they're ready to be competitive, but it is a reminder that they're a different team at home than they are on the road.
Well, speaking of Clemson, who do you think has the bigger game to open the season? Clemson, Georgia, Texas, Michigan.
Texas, Michigan, not till week 2.
Yeah, but I mean early in the season is what I meant.
Yeah. Gosh, that's a good question. I'm going to say that Texas, Michigan is bigger for both teams. I'm going to say that's bigger because even if, and I'm saying that in part because I think Georgia's going to wipe the floor with Clemson. I think that's going to be a 4-touchdown game.
Wow.
I don't think that's particularly close. Yeah, and I don't know how that's going to make us feel differently about either program. Obviously, if Clemson were to pull off an upset of Georgia, it's, oh my gosh, Clemson is finally not the doormat, and they might actually have national relevance once again. But I think that game up in Ann Arbor for Sharon Moore is so important because if you beat a national contender like Texas with the turnover that Michigan has, bottom 5 in the country in Bill Connolly's percentage of returning production, everybody is still trying to figure out what in the world this quarterback situation looks like. And if you beat a Texas team that everybody's saying is a national championship contender, myself included, that says a lot about your program and the job that you're doing in what's supposed to be a transition year, a floor year for Michigan. And then at the same time for Texas, I mean, going on the road and beating a big-time program like that, making a statement, this is not what Texas has done in the pre-Steve Sarkisian era, really pre-2023. So, yeah, for me, I think that game probably has some higher stakes that will be on the line.
If Georgia does beat Clemson by 4 touchdowns, will that change Dabo's opinion of the portal?
Nothing will. Nothing will. I mean, goodness gracious, go look at the Heisman Trophy ceremony last year. What are we doing? If he's not convinced now, I don't know when he's ever going to be convinced. And that's the thing is, you could look at some of Georgia's potential areas of weakness, and they've actually attacked it with the portal. I mean, the tight end position, the running back position, receivers. They have been willing to say we will rely on the portal more than we have in years past, and they have adapted. And Clemson, they're just hoping their receivers can stay healthy, and maybe year 2, Garrett Riley, that offense looks a little bit better. But, man, it doesn't feel like Dabo really was able to address the areas of weakness that Clemson has had, not just last year, but really the last 3 years.
All right, brother. We're getting close. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. We'll be right in the midst of the start of the season. Make sure to read all of Connor's great stories, great works over at Saturday Down South, and check out the podcast as well, the Saturday Down South podcast. Follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Thank you, Connor.
You are running out of time to take advantage of Genesis Diamond's biggest, most extreme values that you can find on diamond engagement rings. All GIA certified diamond rings are right now marked down an extra 20% off. That's right, and it's only this week before it ends. Sunday at 5 p.m. is the deadline. This is on everything with those GIA certified rings. Half carat to 20 carats, whatever. All graded, GIA certified, and mark 20% down. And they already have great prices to begin with. Now they're giving you an extra 20% off. And this is on all different shapes, all different sizes, whatever it is that you're looking for, you're going to be able to find it. And right now, save 20% more than those already great low prices you find all the time at Genesis Diamonds. Poplar and Perkins Extended is where you'll find them. So if you're thinking at all about getting that beautiful engagement ring and popping the question, now, this week is the time to go get it. Genesis Diamonds, you have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to take advantage of 20% off all GIA certified diamond rings.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall pool bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's
Cruiser Spot, Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
For retro cruiser styling packed with modern innovations, riders of all skill levels choose a Honda Rebel. Incredible motorcycles with a stripped-down style and a full package of features. Both the 300 and the 500 offer compact power inside a lightweight frame. Combined with a low-slung seat, the Rebel is easy to start on. And with new colors for this year, they are impossible to ignore. Go to Visetto Honda to check out the 2023 Honda Rebels. Cruisers with premium style and performance to enjoy every second. Use the street as a racetrack with the law with your own driving.
Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa set. It's happening right now. You can save thousands on in-stock hot tubs that are ready to be delivered. Family Leisure has spas that start at just $28.99. You know those cold plunges? You can get one for yourself starting at $39.99. Or how about swim spas? They start at $17,499. Plus, Family Leisure has set up special financing just for this event. Have you been sitting on the fence about an above-ground pool? Get off that fence and get to Family Leisure to take advantage of huge discounts on all their in-stock above-ground pools. And if you need some patio furniture, it's all priced to move out now. It's not too late to have some summer fun, courtesy of Family Leisure. But you better hurry up. The world's biggest spa set might go on forever. Family Leisure. With and run at I-40. Family and fun come together.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking the bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway and Parkway Center, Upper Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Highland Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
It's rainy season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
During the break, I was looking at Twitter, X, and I was reading this tweet from Andy Staples. And he said that Ralph Russo from the Associated Press, who's really good, gave him a formula based on the past 10 years of rankings to try to predict who actually will make the playoffs. And I don't know what the formula is, but it's the last 10 years of using analytics. And Staples came up with 4 of the 5 AP preseason top 5 teams make the playoff. So, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama. 4 of those 5. 1 doesn't make it. Who do you think has... Who would be the one that you think, if one is left out of that top 5, that would... Who would be the one? Would it be in that order? Would you think it would be Alabama?
Either Texas or Alabama.
Says 2 will come from 6 to 10. So that's Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, Florida State. All right? 2 come from 11 to 20. 1 comes from 21 to 25, and then 3 are unranked in the 12-team playoff. Now, that would be pretty chaotic if that's the case. Now, of course, 1 is automatically going to be unranked because there was no group of 5 schools in the preseason top 25. The school he has getting in, representing the group of 5, is Appalachian State. And then the other 2, I know one of them, the graphic has come and gone, but I saw UCF in there. UCF did not get any They're not in the top 25, correct?
No.
Yeah, so he has UCF in there. I want to say Nebraska. I thought I saw Nebraska as the other one. That would be crazy if something like that happened. You got UCF in, you got Nebraska in. But think about it. UCF winning the Big 12 is not crazy. Nebraska being the third or fourth team from the Big 10, I guess is not, I don't think it's going to happen, but I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility. He has Ole Miss in as one of his 2 from 6 through 10, and has Tennessee in as one of his 2 from 11 through 20. That would be something. Could you imagine, though, Tennessee got in, Ole Miss got in, Memphis got in? For people around this area.
Could happen.
Right?
I don't think Tennessee will get there, but could.
It's a possibility. Now, unfortunately for other regional schools, Arkansas, Mississippi State, I can't see it being their year. No. But we have, of course, a lot of Alabama fans
Vanderbilt
here.
will not be making it.
Vandy ain't going to make it. But Alabama certainly has an opportunity. But again, according to their little formula that they've put together, 4 of the 5 in the preseason top 5 get in. 1 does not. Who is it likely to be?
I assume they're just using what in the past have been the final rankings for the college football playoffs.
It has to be.
Because obviously we've never had a 12-team playoff, so you have no formula who gets into a 12-team playoff.
Right. It's crunching the numbers from the last 10 years of the 14 playoff. That has to be it. But, yeah, when you look at it just from, like, simple math, in the top 5, you have 3 from the SEC. So the odds are a little bit tougher to get all 3 in, although it's certainly possible. And you have 2 from the Big Ten. And I just think Ohio State and Oregon, like I do Texas and Georgia, not head and shoulders above everybody, but certainly above Michigan, Penn State, USC, Nebraska, Iowa. I think there's a little bit of a gap in between those 2 and the rest in the Big Ten. What do you think?
I think as far as just pure talent goes, I don't think there's any doubt. I think Ohio State is clearly the most talented, then Oregon would be right behind them. I've never believed in Penn State, and I don't know about Michigan for this year. So
right, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered for Michigan when you lose not only your head coach, but more importantly, you lose your starting quarterback, your starting star running back, and others as well.
And again, theoretically, not cheating anymore.
Yeah, we think.
Again, theoretically, they may still they may not care. They may still be doing it, but theoretically, you've learned your lesson and you're not cheating anymore. This hour of our program brought to you by the Big Green Egg. You go to BigGreenEgg.com to get all the details on the best grill there is. That is the Big Green Egg. They've got 7 different sizes for you to choose from, so no matter how big or how small you need, they've got a size for you, plus all the egg accessories that make it easy for you to do whatever you need to do on that Big Green Egg. From smoking those ribs for many hours or a Boston butt to searing steaks at 700 degrees to baking a pizza or baking a cake, whatever it might be, the Big Green Egg allows you to do it all. Very versatile. It comes with a lifetime guarantee. So it's the best grill there is and the last grill you'll ever need to buy. Again, BigGreenEgg.com, or you can head to the Ace Hardware stores around town or Hamilton Fireplace. They're carriers, distributors of the Big Green Egg here in Memphis.
Outside of the 2 games that I brought up for Connor, Georgia, Clemson, Texas, Michigan. And again, I understand that they're not all week 1, but they're week 1 or 2. They're early in the season. Taking them out of the equation, out of these 5, Eli, which one are you most excited to see? And I think I know your answer, but LSU, USC, Tennessee, NC State, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Florida, Miami, and Bama, Wisconsin.
Texas A&M, Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's the one I thought you would answer. I just don't know about Texas A&M. I'm shocked when you said they're a favorite. Of course, they're at home. So I think that's a big reason why. But, maybe Elko, it's a whole different ballgame. It didn't work out the way people thought it would work out with Jimbo Fisher. Maybe it's a whole different ballgame with Mike Elko. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, we open up hour number 2 with Humdinger's Trivia, so stay tuned for that. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to give back to communities across the state. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. They're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers and tournament participants as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield helps communities, please visit bcbst.com.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call getgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They just now cleared a wreck that was out here for almost a couple of hours on 240 southbound at South Parkway. That should improve that traffic flow through the Midtown area here in the next few minutes. It was already heavy northbound, trying to work your way up there through around South Parkway in the Midtown area. Heavy traffic continues to flow in right now on 40 westbound out there at Chambers Chapel, Canada Road coming in from Fayette County. Hey, Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub. Curbless shower conversion, havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:02 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with it from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 74 degrees. It will get up to about 93 today. Mainly sunny to start, then a few afternoon clouds. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more of that cloud cover. Felt great yesterday. Tonight we're looking at partly cloudy skies and a low of 76 degrees. Hour 2 of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. I'll tell you more about them a little bit later on in the hour, but it is Tuesday. That means it's time for Humdinger's Trivia.
That's right. And, of course, if it's Tuesday, that means it's Taco Tuesday over at Humdinger's with their chicken and fish tacos, just $2 each all day. That's each and every Tuesday that you could take advantage of that great deal on those delicious tacos over at Humdinger's. Of course, if it's not on a Tuesday you're there or you're just not interested in the tacos that day, well, they've got plenty of other great items on the menu, from their sandwiches and salads, all the grilled fish options with the great toppings and the wonderful sides that they have. If you go to humdingersrestaurant.com, you could check out the entire menu. You can also get information on catering. If you've got an event you need catered, certainly Humdinger's is a great option for that. Humdinger's, located at Poplar and Massey. And again, online, humdingersrestaurant.com. If you are the first to answer our trivia question correctly, well, then you'll get a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. You only get one guess, and if you've won in the last 30 days, you are not eligible to win. So I guess if you want to text in an answer just to congratulate yourself, to say you got it right, whatever, I don't care. But you can't win if you've won in the last 30 days. And again, you answer via text on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. That's the number to text in those answers to this question. Over the last couple of weeks, of course, we've heard a lot about the Katie Ledeckis of the world and the Simone Biles of the world, and we all know about Michael Phelps and his 28 Olympic medals. Well, in 2 years, we get back to Winter Olympics. What American athlete has the most medals in the Winter Olympics? What American athlete has won the most Winter Olympic medals? 360-8255, 360-8255. Text in those answers. First correct answer, $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. What American athlete has won the most Winter Olympic medals?
That sound you hear is people scurrying to look this up because they have no idea about the Winter Olympic Games. I have a few guesses, but that's tough. I'm not real set with my history when it comes to the Winter Games. Again, I got a few athletes in mind, but that's tough. That's one you, I think, probably going to look up. If somebody knows it, good for you. But make sure you get in and get in fast and get in correctly and win that $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. All right, couple of things. Speaking of the Olympics, but the Summer Games, the latest with Jordan Childs, it appears she has to give back the bronze medal because the arbitration panel is not going to even consider the evidence now that the United States has, the United States Olympic Committee or the Gymnastics Federation, whatever it is, that has that information to show that they indeed had an appeal within the 1 minute time frame. They're not even going to look at it now. They consider the case closed. They bungled this thing from the get-go, from the judges to everybody else involved in this decision. It is horrible. I felt horrible for the Romanian girl to begin with. I feel even more horrible for Childs because she literally was given the bronze, and now she has to give it back. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to go to court because USA Gymnastics is going to go to the Swiss Federal Tribunal, whatever that is, but it will be. It'll end up being decided somewhere in court at some point down the road, and she might get her medal at the Winter Olympics in a couple of years.
Oh, geez. The Swiss Tribunal, I mean, we have too many legislative levels in the Olympics. There's just too much, man. It's ridiculous. Make a decision. If there's more information that has brought to your attention, then either alter your decision or keep the decision, but you have to look at that information.
Well, there was also I saw somebody last night. Who the heck was it on X that said apparently because when I guess once Romania went to them with this, whatever, their appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport.
That the United States took too long, right?
No, they notified the wrong people with the United States. They didn't contact, because they have to contact the other side. Well, apparently they contacted the wrong people.
Who did they call?
So I don't know, but they contacted the wrong officials. So it has been
it's a crap
say
storm.
this,
I'd like to say something else.
Do I feel bad for the Romanian girl because the way it worked out? Yes. But should Romania file the complaint? No. It's dumb. This was simply because this isn't a debate of whether they got it right. Like, they messed it up.
Right.
They screwed up her starting difficulty score. It wasn't they changed their score because, we just decided she did better. No, we were incorrect in the way it started. And so we have corrected that mistake. So yes, while that sucks for the Romanian girl, just shut up. If they hadn't screwed up to begin with, you wouldn't have worried. You were never winning the bronze.
Absolutely. Right now, is the score that they eventually gave Jordan Childs correct? The answer is yes. They screwed up at first, the judges. They corrected the score. That's all that matters. She had a better score than the Romanian girl. She has the bronze. She should be able to keep the bronze. Now we're talking about it's not just technicality, it's your word against their word, it's visual evidence that they won't look at. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's a shame that a few days after the closing ceremonies, we're still talking about this. But I feel horrible for her.
Raider Corey said, what happened to the decency and having a sensible and fair approach? Just give both the women the bronze and keep it moving.
That's what I said yesterday. Give them both the bronze. What's it matter?
They say they won't do that. They're out of bronze medals. They only get the exact correct amount. They go into the Olympics. They know exactly how many bronze medals they need. By golly, we're not making another. We're out of bronze.
There was an accident that some of the bronze medals fell
at the
into
bronze
the sea and
factory.
river. You know,
they have a deal. They have a contract. This is how many bronze medals we need. We will not ask for any more.
So Matt Kuchar apparently apologized to the entire staff, employees at the Wyndham and that golf course in North Carolina for returning on Monday morning to finish up a hole that he had already started. He said, I know it stinks. I know the ramifications. I want to apologize to all the staff. Hey, you know what? You could have avoided it all, my friend, if you finished the damn hole on Sunday. Well, he said that he couldn't finish because he needed more time to process all the different options that he had for his approach shot. Come on, man. Come on.
Again, I don't. It's dumb. His whole thing that he thought Gracerman was going to stop also, and I don't know exactly how that all has to be done. When you have to declare that you're stopping, so I have no idea the rules on that whole thing with darkness and when the decision is made to keep playing or not keep playing. But those, again,
don't you have the option to finish the hole just like it would be if it's if the horn goes? Yeah,
I don't. That's the thing. I don't know when those decisions, because he thought Gracerman would stop because Gracerman was only down by one, needed a birdie, and figured he wouldn't want to hit his shot in the dark. Whatever. So I don't know how all that process works amongst the group and when everybody's declaring it. His was he had to take a drop. He was getting relief for line of sight relief, all of these things that go into it. Again, whether he thought, even if I'm him and I thought Gracerman might stop because he's only down by one, I'm playing for nothing. I literally am out here doing this for nothing at this point other than, I don't know, however much money I could win with a birdie versus a par versus a bogey. And again, if you're Matt Kuchar, I'm pretty sure you don't need that money. I would assume you don't at this point in your career at the amount of money you've made. You're not going anywhere. If I'm Matt, I would have absolutely played the hole out.
Was there any possibility that he was in jeopardy of losing his tour card because he would not stay in the top 125? Was that a situation or not? I read something about that, but I'm thinking Matt Kuchar. Why would he lose his car? He's won enough.
He's going to be. I don't even know what the 125 means anymore because with the 70 and the 50 and all that
Well,
stuff.
you keep your tour card if you're 125.
You get to play, I think, in the fall to try and keep it. I don't know exactly how that all works because it's not the same as it used to be.
Yeah, but they said something about because I was reading the story. He said Kuchar moved up. He finished with a par. He tied for whatever it was, and then he moved up 5 spots in the FedEx Cup standings.
I don't know where he finished in the FedEx Cup.
Like 120, I think he moved up, or whatever the case was. They were trying to make a point that, well, this is the reason why. Well, again, I don't think it made any difference. Sure, I guess he could have bogeyed or double bogeyed the hole and dropped down and lost money, even though he's made $60 million or more on the tour. And that's probably undervaluing what he's made. That's why they call him ATM. But again, all those people, all those fine folks, all those volunteers that they come back the next day, and he's apologizing. But, I had to do it. That's what he's saying. He goes, hey, look, I'm sorry you had to get up early. I'm sorry you had to come back in. I didn't even play a full hole. I played, a couple of shots. Boom, finished up. Sorry about that. My apologies, but I had to do it. He didn't have to do it. They could have finished.
He also said he wouldn't even realize he could have to take the drop had he played on Sunday. I don't know if he was saying it was too dark to see the line of sight thing that he got relief from. I have no idea, but he said he wouldn't even have realized to take the drop had he played it on Sunday.
Speaking of golf, Scotty Scheffler, who is here in Memphis, he claims the Comcast Business Tour's $8 million business bonus. Never heard of that until I read that yesterday. I wonder if Scotty Scheffler even knew. Probably walked up and said, hey, here's a check for $8 million. What's that for? Well, you got the Comcast Business Tour's $8 million business bonus.
Yeah, they've been doing that for, I think, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I never heard of it. So it just adds to his incredible year. How much money is that now that he has made?
He was I'm not sure what exactly he's at now.
He's well over $30 million, correct? For the year? Wasn't he at 28 or somewhere?
Yes.
Gosh, I mean, think about that.
I mean, the 6 wins alone are like 20. I think those are because they're right around $4 million per. I think is the average. So they're like 20, probably around $24 million just themselves.
Let's see. Yeah, the Comcast Business Tour top 10 ranking, again, entitled him to the big bonus. It pushes his 2024 earnings above $30 million. What did Jack make for his career? I mean,
just over $4 million.
I'm sorry. I know the cost of living. It's a different world we live in today. What? Jack didn't play in the 20s, for goodness sakes. Oh, my gosh. That is nuts. He has been spectacular. And again, he'll be the favorite this week in Memphis. You win the FedEx Cup. If he wins, let's say he wins 2 of the 3 events.
By the way, the whole thing, so the top 125 is decided by the fall events, like after the, so I mean, I guess he theoretically put himself in better position going into the fall events to be able to get in that, to finish in the top 125. But, that's still not reason enough, in my opinion, to be playing that hole the next day.
Okay, so you have to finish in the top 125 at the end of the fall events.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so he went up 5 spots from finishing in the tie, which again, I forget, tie for whatever, 12th, whatever it was. But again, yeah, it's still, look, we're not in that position. We're not professional golfers making that kind of money or leaving that much money on the table. So it's easy for us to say, you've made so much money, man. But I know who I am. And even if I was in that position, I know not being in contention to win that tournament. And while it was certainly getting very dark, it was, I think, still light enough to see the hole. I would have finished for the sake of those people. But that's me. And I think it's probably 95% of people. So sorry, I can't buy his excuse. Kuchar, who I once liked, and then after that, and you hear about how cheap he was with his caddies over the whole thing just rubs me the wrong way with Matt Kuchar.
He is 103rd in FedEx Cup.
So he moved. I'm pretty positive he moved up 5. So I guess he was 108 then. He's still in good position.
Well, he only moved up 2 spots at the tournament. Now with a bogey, I don't know where he would have been.
Oh, it said 5 spots. I guess they readjusted. Whatever. Okay, but 2 spots. If he bogeyed, I don't know. Maybe he dropped a few spots. He's not dropping beyond 125. And again, he has all these tournaments coming up that he could be overtaken by others. So he's going to have to go out there and play. Does he lose his card, though, if he's outside the 125?
You have conditional status if you don't finish in the top 125.
Conditional status, 125 to 150?
Where did he go? What did I say he was? 10? Okay.
Yeah.
He's actually 105. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong column. He is 105
and he
right
was,
now.
And he
I don't
was
know
what?
what he was.
Yeah, I think it said he had moved up 5 spots. That's what I thought it said. But Kuchar's how old now? Was he mid 40s? 46.
Yeah, should be.
So he's still got 4 more years before the Champions Tour. All right, a couple of other things from yesterday. The Cardinals recalled Jordan Walker from the Redbirds. On the show yesterday morning, I was talking about the possibility of them recalling him even before the September 1st call-up. And then they had an additional injury, so Walker gets the call. Had a great weekend for the Redbirds here at AutoZone Park, hit home runs in back-to-back games. So he's been really hot, and hopefully Jordan will stay in St. Louis, not only the rest of the year, but the rest of his career. But he was a trooper. I mean, I thought that's tough to handle. Not making the team, you're demoted right away, you're playing AAA, and you got to make the best of it. Not every player does, but Jordan Walker certainly did and got better, I think, as the season progressed, and he got a little bit more comfortable with what the situation was. And he makes his way back to St. Louis, and they really need some hot bats, and maybe Jordan Walker will provide that for them. Also, Dr. Ed Scott, the University of Memphis athletics director, along with Lauren Ashman, he makes his first official hiring under his leadership as Memphis hires a new softball coach, Trina Prater. She comes from Campbell University, has a really good resume, had a lot of success there, and we'll see what happens with her. Now, Stephanie Van Brakel was a dynamite pitching coach at Alabama and had all the accolades as well. And she came to Memphis and unfortunately didn't get the job done. And she's gone. She's now at Florida as a pitching coach there. But as far as Prater is concerned, again, good job at a smaller school and wish her well at the University of Memphis. But that's the first official hiring as far as coaching hiring for Dr. Ed Scott, who certainly has to add to his staff with several members having moved on.
Matt Kuchar, by the way, basically official money in his career, $60 million.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, right around $60 million. By the way, Stephanie Van Brakel, Prothro, her full name, the former Memphis softball coach.
We do have a correct answer. Let me see here. Let me make sure if I need a tie or not. Tiebreaker. No, we do not. One person came in extremely fast with this. They did not look it up.
Oh, wow.
They had to, I don't know, maybe it's a lucky guess or they just knew this one. But again, the question was, what American athlete has the most medals won in the Winter Olympics? You got to go deep down the list of American athletes winning medals because it's all summer. And then you finally get to a few winter athletes. Who was your guess?
Ono would be my guess.
That is correct.
Yeah,
wow.
that would have been mine.
Apollo Ono with 8 medals barely noses out Bonnie Blair and Bodie Miller, who each have 7. But those are the only three in like the top. I don't even know how many of American athletes in medals. It's Summer Olympic after Summer Olympic athlete, and then those three as far as the winter athletes go. But Apollo Ono was the correct answer. We'll be contacting our winner, letting you know how to get your $25 gift certificate to Humdingers.
I had no idea that Bodie Miller had 7. I thought maybe he had 3. Bonnie Blair was the other one I was thinking of. So, yeah, good guess on my part.
America's
but
a warm-blooded country.
Well, Bodie Miller should have more. He's had a couple. The one Olympics, he was a horrendous disappointment. Like Bodie Miller, if he would have lived up to the expectations in some of these Olympics, he would probably be up there at about 10 or 11 at least.
Yeah, but we certainly have areas in this country where kids they come out of the womb and they're on skis. Now, we're not Switzerland and Finland and places, even Canada. But we have enough in the United States, enough areas, enough regions where kids, maybe they're not playing soccer. They're skiing or they're doing things that are obviously hockey as well. But, that's why we're competitive. We're not as good overall, but that's why we're competitive in the Winter Games and have hosted Winter Games, whether it be in Salt Lake City, whether it be in Lake Placid, wherever the case may be. James Gaddis Jewelers, second-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. They are your family's jeweler, 4900 Poplar, between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. James is a certified appraiser, so if you want to bring something in, you want it appraised, James can take care of that for you. Also, as I've talked about before, they can take old family heirlooms, just sitting around collecting dust, and give it a whole new modernized look. And they can do that by giving you a 3D rendering of what it will look like. They can do that in a matter of days. And then they can work on that jewelry and give you that new look, and you're going to love what they can do with it. Instead of just sitting around, why don't you make it modernized and that whole new appeal to somebody in your family instead of just, like I said, in a box and just sitting there. They can do that. They also have, of course, all their fine jewelry for you, whether it be watches or custom-made jewelry, gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, plus estate and vintage jewelry. And they got 2 repair experts to help you with your fine watches and jewelry, whether you need a simple cleaning, whether you need a resetting of your ring, whatever the case may be. Bring it over to James Gaddis Jewelers. They are full-service jewelers. Layaway and financing available, located again at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, right in the heart of East Memphis, or online at gaddisjewelers.com. When we come back, Rick Shadyac, as he's known by his friends, and we'll call him Rick, will be joining us as he has another important week, and they have an important week for the FedEx St. Jude Classic or FedEx St. Jude Championship with money raised to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. He's the president and the CEO of ALSAC. Rick Shadyac on deck. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
There is no reason to suffer the Memphis summer heat when you could just haul yourself downtown to Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect neighborhood bar. There's nothing like the cool, comfortable atmosphere at Bell Tavern. Just grab a table or a stool at the bar and watch the poor suckers that don't know any better walk by in the withering heat in Barbaro Alley when they could be like you, inside Bell Tavern, laughing at other people. I know, it's not nice to laugh at other people, but when they're walking right past Bell Tavern, well, honestly, they kind of have it coming.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in town Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Clearing up a couple of earlier accidents out here. It's trying to get even busier on 40 westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way up to Sycamore View Road. Be careful in that construction over there on Sam Cooper right when you come off the interstate, as that traffic gets even heavier the last few minutes on 385 Billmore Parkway, working your way inbound, trying to get up on that ramp there to 240. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub curbless shower conversion. HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:28 the time, hour 2, here on Sports 56 mornings. Tomorrow, we begin our coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We'll be broadcasting live from the hub all day long. That'll be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we are certainly looking forward to that. We're looking forward to talking with Rick Shadyac here in just a moment. Tomorrow, among our guests, Steve Sands will join us from the Golf Channel on NBC to break down this first playoff event for the FedEx Cup. This one will be followed by Colorado, where I can guarantee you the weather will be spectacular as far as temperature is concerned. And then they'll wrap it up as they do each and every playoff, and that's at East Lake in Atlanta for the Tour Championship. As I was saying, or at least started to say, Scotty Scheffler, he wins, let's say, 2 events. Let's say he wins in Memphis, then wins the Tour Championship. So he wins the FedEx Cup, gets 2 of the 3 events. He already has 6 elevated events, including the Masters, and he's also won the Players. I mean, you're talking about, if not the greatest, the second greatest individual season compared to what Tiger has done and did that one incredible year. Of course, Tiger had many incredible years, but, I mean, this is one of the great individual years by any golfer in a long, long time, what Scotty Scheffler is doing. Without further ado, he's the president and the CEO of ALSAC, which is the fundraising and awareness organization of St. Jude. He's Rick Shadyac. You can follow him on Twitter at Rick Shadyac, and he joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Rick, how are you?
I am fantastic, you guys. How are you all doing, okay?
We're doing great. We're looking forward to one of the best events of the year here in Memphis. Each and every year, we love being out there, and we'll be broadcasting live from TP Southwind starting tomorrow. Do you know off the top of your head how long the relationship has been going on with the golf tournament here in Memphis and with the beneficiary being St. Jude Children's Research Hospital?
How about 1970? 1970. Wow. So, yeah, it's a long time, man. That's what makes this, I think, this tournament so special, that we've been the beneficiary. It started back in 1970 when Danny Thomas helped make the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital a designated charity of what was then called the Memphis Open Golf Tournament. So it goes all the way back to that.
Do you have any idea? Because beyond just obviously the money raise, it's the what on the television coverage, eyeballs, everything else. Like, what do you have any? Like, what is the ballpark figure? I guess of just what it truly means dollar wise to St. Jude.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to quantify. Yeah. You know, I can tell you this, that the tournament has generated more than $74 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. But I just don't think that captures it because, you know, especially with when we had the World Golf Championships and now the FedEx Cup playoffs, this puts us on a world stage. So the awareness that's created, all around the globe about the importance of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, that we lead the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer, to put us on this global stage at the very time that we're expanding our mission. St. Jude now has relationships in over 80 countries around the world, and we've made a commitment to try to raise survival rates in these low and low middle income countries from 20% to 60% in the next decade. So just a lot of remarkable things going on, and that awareness is, it's priceless. And then, guys, just think about this. I wonder how many, because I know about this from commercials and people tell me, but I wonder how many people have learned about St. Jude through awareness that was created and then had to become patients at St. Jude. I know that happens with some of the commercials that we run on TV, because they tell us that they first learned about St. Jude on television.
Rick, the relationship that you guys have with this golf event, but really sports in general, is very important fundraising arm for you guys as a whole.
Oh, you bet. We are very, very blessed to have relationships with all the major sports. I think this is, the Grizzlies obviously have been wonderful supporters of ours. I just think this is a special place. I mean, yesterday, just to give you guys a sense of how genuine a lot of these golfers are, yesterday Jordan Spieth and his wife came to St. Jude and spent hours at St. Jude and made a really substantial donation. Jordan has been there for us before, but to spend that kind of time in the most important week of the year, it's incredible. And I know several of the guys are going to be out. We have a couple of events later on today where some of the golfers are going to do a little putt around with the St. Jude patients, and then the PGA Tour wives are having an art party out at the course. And these are things that I think the public doesn't realize happen. Jordan was just so wonderful yesterday, as was his wife, and to see the commitment that they have. And there's others. I mean, you all know that many of these guys have done things for us. Colin Morikawa is going to be out there today. He's been a wonderful ambassador for St. Jude. And Justin Thomas, and I could go on and on and on, how these guys have embraced St. Jude and really brought that awareness to the global stage. But some of them are also major investors in our mission.
That's one of the great things. So many of them do it, and it's not for the publicity. Like, they do it without anybody even knowing necessarily that they're doing these things. And that's what's all, to have the amount of kids and stuff out at the golf tournament that we're able to see then you've got some of them that have the shoes designed by kids. All of those tie-ins just make it so special.
Yeah, well, that's what we try to do, guys. I mean, we try to make this a little bit of a different golf tournament with a little bit of a different look and feel than what the average viewer or listener is going to get on their TVs or radios on Thursday through Sunday. And we want charity to be completely incorporated in this. We have a message here. We want to encourage people to live charitably. And what does that mean? That means that we want them to certainly have fun while they're at the golf tournament or consuming that content. But at the same time, when you're having fun like that, it's also an opportunity to do good and to reflect upon the blessings in our life. And that's what I think this is about. It's demonstrating love for each other. What is a charitable gift? It's a demonstration of love for kids that are catastrophically ill. And so I just think that we're trying to put purpose behind this golf tournament. We've been trying to do that since 1970. And I think the public embraces it. That's why we have, we raise so much money, and there's such wonderful global support for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
And in simple terms, you feel good about it. You feel good about helping out these kids.
You do. I mean, I say this to people all the time. If you've ever volunteered, or if you've ever made a donation to a charity, how do you feel after you volunteer? Right. You feel really good, right? You feel like you've accomplished something. It fills you with emotion. And then, you can then go and model that behavior with your family and with your neighbors and with your friends. And then all of a sudden it catches on, guys. This is what we call living charitably. And we're super excited about kind of this movement that we're trying to start. And it's good for you, especially in this time when things are kind of polarized and divisive. There's a cause that we can all unite around, and that's St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Well said.
One of the great events that happens out there is the dedication of the airplane that is always on site out there. Could you, for folks that don't know exactly what that is, could you explain what that is and when that takes place?
This is called the Purple Eagle Ceremony, brought to us by our great friends at FedEx. This is the 12th year in which a feeder plane in the FedEx network is named after a St. Jude patient. And so this is the 12th one. This year's honoree is Micah, who's age 7, and he was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia in 2022 when he was, I think I put him at 5 years of age. His grandfather is a FedEx employee. So all of these honorees have been employees of FedEx. And it's very, very cool about the connection to FedEx. Yeah. FedEx is based here obviously here in Memphis, Tennessee. So, the connection is deep. And I just think it's really, really special. I always joke with the crowd when we're doing this. I mean, how many of you guys have your name on an airplane? No, I don't have my name on an airplane, right? So I think it's a pretty cool thing for these kids. And guys, we've been doing this so long now, 12 years, that some of the patients are growing up. They're graduating from high school. One of them got married in the last year. I mean, again, so you can see the manifestation of all of this charitable work that's being done and leading the way by FedEx. I mean, FedEx truly cares, and they've just been a great partner to St. Jude.
Rick Shadyac is joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Rick, for those who don't know, of course, I think everybody knows that a family does not pay a single penny as their children are treated at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That means a lot of money needs to be raised. What type of money are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, to stay true to that promise that no family will ever get a bill from St. Jude, not for treatment, travel, housing, or food, our organization, ALSAC, will have to raise more than $2.6 billion this year.
Oh, my God.
And the hospital... Yeah, it's a gigantic operation, and the hospital budget is a lot more than $2 billion, just to give you all a sense. And for those of you that live in Memphis or you're going to be visiting our community, if you're listening to us, I want you to come by the St. Jude campus and see the cranes. We're expanding our campus. We've got 2 15-story towers dedicated to our clinical operations, meaning taking care of our kids. And very soon we're going to be further expanding our campus to include probably an 18-story research tower. We've just opened up a brand new patient housing facility brought to us by our great friends at Domino's. That's Domino's Pizza, called Domino's Village, 140 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. So this is so we can help kids not only here in the United States, which is our key focus, but all across the globe. And very soon, gentlemen, we're going to be distributing free cancer medications. I said free. Wow. That means public support to 120,000 of the 400,000 kids all around the globe that are going to get cancer, focusing in particular on these low and low middle income countries. And this, our doctors and scientists believe this is going to be the game changer that's going to raise the survival rates for these kids in these countries. And wow, just think about what we're going to be talking about in a decade from now about the number of lives that St. Jude and this golf tournament has been able to touch.
That's incredible.
You talk about that. It's amazing to me every time I'm down there and I see the more, the cranes and the construction and things that are going on and how much you guys continue to expand, which is awesome to see that. Again, that's just more room to help more families and things like that. And I was thinking, eventually they're just going to run out of room down here. Aren't they? They just keep on taking over this whole area.
Well, we need to. We need to. That's all I can say. We're fortunate to have a lot of the real estate in the neighborhood around us, and we're going to continue to use it and continue to invest in our community. I hope all of my fellow Memphians feel like we're great corporate citizens of this city that we proudly have called home. Since 1962, Danny Thomas intentionally placed St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee, to address healthcare inequity, primarily in our black brothers and sisters. Now our obligation is to take that DNA of healthcare inequity, addressing healthcare inequity all around the globe, because it's simply not fair that the single biggest determinant of whether a child survives childhood cancer is where that child lives.
Right.
We have to address that, and that's what we're going to do. And this tournament is enabling us to do that and to give us that megaphone to tell the world about the healthcare inequity that exists in these low and low middle income countries.
Well, I know you're a very busy man, Rick. From time to time, I think you like to hit the little white ball. And this week, you got the event going on at Spring Creek Ranch on Thursday. Tomorrow is the Pro-Am for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Are you going to get out there and play?
I will play on Thursday with some of our colleagues. Well, I'll be out there with Luke Kennard of the Grizzlies will be there, and Lionel Hollins, our old coach of the Grizzlies. We got Mark Rippon coming in, the Super Bowl quarterback for the Washington football team. It's hard for me to say the Commanders. I'm from Washington D.C., so I'm kind of a Washington football team fan. But we also have Kevin Rahm is coming in. Kevin is an actor that also runs a golf tournament for us. He's just been fantastic. I know Penny's going to be out there. So many more, and we got the I think it's going to be 4 St. Jude patients that are going to play in this celebrity.
Oh, that's great.
Us. And we got a great concert coming up with featuring Don Felder of the Eagles. And we're going to be doing that at the Peabody this year because the FedEx Forum is under some construction. And we got the great house band Six Wire. I don't know if y'all have heard Six Wire before, but they're absolutely amazing out of Nashville. They do multiple events for us. So it's going to be a great week, guys. And I hope to see you, and I'm going to stop by and see you while we're all out there enjoying great golf.
Sounds great. It's such a great week, great event, and certainly again the results of it, the fruits of the labor that what it does for St. Jude, that makes it all the more worthwhile. But yeah, it should be a great week once again.
Yeah, God bless you, Rick, and all your great folks that work so hard, so diligently. For raising money and awareness. Let's hopefully one day we don't have to talk about it, and we've somehow cured this dreaded disease. But until then, you guys are doing everything you can to make it easier for families all around the world, not just in this country. Rick, thank you. Enjoy the week. Come out and see us, and thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome, guys. Hey, remember, we do it all together. You do it. The supporters of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It takes the entire community coming together to make this all happen, and you guys are a big part of it. So thank you for giving us this platform. God bless, and I'll see you this week.
Thank you, Rick. Take care.
It's amazing work that they do. And again, it blows my mind every time I go by. I'm like, man, they're building more buildings, which is great. Again, it's awesome to see because that's just more families, and he's talking about the housing and stuff like that. But I was like, my gosh, it's amazing how just in the time I've been here, how much bigger that has gotten is crazy, and they just continue to go and go and go.
Yes, and it's great because you're right, and as Rick said, now there's more rooms and buildings and to take care of these children and their families, of course, that they house as well. But it's also bittersweet because that means there's more and more that are affected around the world by the dreaded C word. And yeah, so we'd like to see the expansion for more people to be treated, but actually it would be great one year if it shrinks. That means less kids are having to deal with cancer. But they're amazing. Look, our Le Bonheur Children's Research Hospital, what they do at St. Jude, others here in this great city of ours, what they do to fight and help children and their families is just beyond comprehension. But the money, when I asked him how much money it takes, and he threw that number out, I fell back a little bit. It's staggering, the amount of money. This is just a drop in the bucket for what they're going to be able to benefit from with this golf tournament this week.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot, and it is great that so many of these golfers and other celebrities at other sports that do stuff that, again, they're not, it's in no way done for publicity at all. They don't, there's nobody there that ever knows that they're even there doing the things they do. But the golfers and everybody, again, when you see these kids, everything else, it can't help but, affect you. And the fact that, again, Jordan Spieth would go spend a day over there yesterday, and all these golfers, the amount of time that they are willing to spend with these kids and talk to them and everything else, it's just absolutely fantastic stuff that they do.
Yes, there are so many of them that you don't know about, right? Because none of them are seeking publicity. How many times... Now, Marcus Gasol was with Le Bonheur. He would go over to Le Bonheur all the time, and nobody would even know it. And I'm sure many, many Grizzlies. we're scheduled to have on Friday out at TPC Southwind Ron Rivera, the former NFL head coach, the former Chicago Bear on that 85 Super Bowl championship team. Again, just here's an NFL coach, a former player, not some all-time great player. He's given so much to St. Jude that nobody knows about, and is always there when he can be there. And he's there for the event. He'll play on Thursday at Spring Creek Ranch, and again, scheduled to be with us on Friday during our show out at TPC Southwind. All right, we need to take a time out. Before we do, I want to tell you about Shoot 360 Memphis. You saw what Steph Curry did for the United States versus France. You saw what he did in the semis versus Serbia. You've seen what he has done for his entire career. I am not going to sit here and tell you that your child or grandchild or player will be the next Steph Curry. But I will tell you this. They will become a better shooter by using Shoot 360 Memphis and the revolutionary basketball training facility that it provides and all their great hands-on coaches. Why do I bring up Steph Curry? Because Steph Curry uses this system. And now, Shoot 360 Cordova is open, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-sized courts, 3 high school-sized courts, 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Now memberships are offered monthly. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. So whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are available to you. So you're welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis, where you can learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having a lot of fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now open in Cordova. They also have a location in Collierville. Call them today and ask for a tour of the facility. 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. It's Shoot 360 Memphis. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 901-524-6799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa set. It's happening right now. You can save thousands on in-stock hot tubs that are ready to be delivered. Family Leisure has spas that start at just $28.99. You know those cold plunges? You can get one for yourself starting at $39.99. Or how about swim spas? They start at $17,499. Plus, Family Leisure has set up special financing just for this event. Have you been sitting on the fence about an above-ground pool? Get off that fence and get to Family Leisure to take advantage of huge discounts on all their in-stock above-ground pools. And if you need some patio furniture, it's all priced to move out now. It's not too late to have some summer fun, courtesy of Family Leisure. But you better hurry up. The world's biggest spa
to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I mentioned earlier the odds for the passing yards leaders in each conference. I mentioned the SEC with Jackson Dart being third in that. The other leaders, I guess, the lowest odds. In the ACC, it's Cam Ward of Miami at 2-1. And I think, I don't have it in front, I think DJ Uiagalelei is like 8-1. Which again, in a Mike Norvell offense, DJ Uiagalelei is healthy, plays all year. 8-1 to lead the ACC in passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good number.
Good number.
The Big 12 is Shedeur Sanders, who is 3-1, and then the Big 10, which this one I think would be. I mean, it's hard to go against him unless he gets hurt. Really, quite frankly.
Gabriel?
Yes, Dylan Gabriel. He's even money to lead the Big 10. I mean, that offense, and he's obviously in his 14th year of college football, been all over the place. Like he would, I think that's probably a pretty good bet, barring injury, that he leads the Big Ten in passing yards.
If they had this for the American Conference, and maybe they do have it somewhere, Seth Hennigan would probably be 2-1.
I would assume he would probably be the favorite.
Yeah.
With SMU out of the league, especially. I mentioned Shedeur Sanders. I don't know. Deion Sanders. The dude is weird. He's just weird. The whole thing with CBS, nobody knows exactly why he's mad at CBS, but he won't do. He doesn't answer questions from a local CBS reporter who has nothing to do with whatever CBS apparently did to offend him. It makes no sense. Just because the guy works for a CBS affiliate, I don't even understand what his point is.
I don't know, man. The whole thing's weird. Look, I like him. I loved him as a player. I like his brashness because he could walk the walk, not just talk the talk. I like what he's doing, even though, last year the accolades and especially the build-up ended up being a dud for what people thought it would be, the great start and all the attention, and it fell apart. I mean, they need to win. They need to go to a bowl game. They need to win some games this year. But I don't mind the brashness. I don't mind who Coach Prime is. But I still go back to the whole thing with Tim McCarver. That rubbed me the wrong way. And this is rubbing me the wrong way as well. And this guy, like you said, has nothing to do with the CBS network, I guess, that he's having an issue with. But even if it's an individual
apparently
media member.
I think the CBS affiliate in there is the one who is actually airing his coach's show.
Right. But he's
not going to talk to the guy who works for the station.
Right. It's ridiculous. But he has the problem with CBS network, and he's taking it out on the CBS affiliate. Look. Not a lot of coaches, but some coaches do that. They have grudges against certain individuals in the media. Get over it, man. Get over it. Everything they're going to write about and everything they're going to talk about is not always going to be glowing, okay? It's not always going to be positive. Now, if they're going out of their way to make things negative, that's one thing, okay? That's a media member with a vendetta. But if there is something that needs to be brought out that's negative, they need to bring it out. I'm sure at Georgia, in Atlanta, or Athens, I don't even know if they have, I'm sure they have a local newspaper. I'm not sure if they have a TV station. They're going to report on all the Georgia players getting in trouble, especially with DUIs and vehicular accidents and all that. They're not going to sugarcoat that. I wonder if Kirby Smart's not talking to them because it's a negative story. Some things are going to be that way.
The reporter from the Denver Post, who he also had some comments about, he even said, I deserve it. I've been I've written things about Dion, like negative things, whatever. Like, if you want to come after me, that's fine. But he's like, the TV guy, like, that's just dumb. Like, to take it out on him for something that whoever, wherever, at what level in CBS did something to offend you.
Right.
Well, that's dumb. Like, I love that. That guy's like, I kind of deserve it. That guy, he doesn't deserve it at all.
Yeah,
that's just dumb.
But he deserves it if he's going out of his way to write a negative story because of his dislike or prejudice of Deion Sanders. That's one thing. If he is writing a story that happens to be negative because it warrants being told, then there's nothing wrong with that. But coaches are so sensitive. They want every single thing to be a positive story. I understand that. You don't want negative stories, but sometimes that is going to happen. Sometimes there's going to be criticism.
I just want to know what CBS did, because everybody's guessing like all these things, but because he won't, like, he doesn't say what it is. All he said was what they did was foul. Well, what did they do that is so foul to you that you're not even willing to talk to somebody who is with a CBS station? Did
they rank Colorado low in the CBS preseason poll?
Everybody guesses. I don't know what writer from CBS did it, but they ranked the coaches in the Big 12 and had him next to last.
That's probably it.
I don't. If he's calling that foul, well, that's even worse. I can't imagine that's it. The way he's doing that, there has to be. I would certainly hope it's something bigger than they ranked you somewhere in our coaches ranking.
I bet it's not bigger.
You won 4 games last year.
Again, if it's criticism like that and it's warranted, that's fine. If it's something where, again, they're going out and they're doing something against him personally, then they're crossing the line. Or something personally against a player or any of his staff members, that's a whole different ballgame. But if something happens and they're reporting the story, what are you going to do? Can't sugarcoat everything. He's very sensitive.
It's ridiculous, that thing. Yeah, and he said that those big old sunglasses on. He's like, I'm looking you eye to eye. I'm like, well, technically you're not. I can't see your eyes. You've got massive sunglasses on. You're not looking at me eye. You might be, but I don't know for sure. You're actually looking me eye to eye. Take the sunglasses off, then I'll know whether you're looking at me eye to eye.
That would have been great if that reporter said, take the sunglasses off.
It's crazy. Mid-South Ag Equipment for all your equipment needs. Head on over to Mid-South Ag Equipment just south of Collierville on Goodman Road is where you'll find them. If you take I-269 to the Goodman Road exit, they're just a half mile west, so very easy to find the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment. You can also find them online at midsouthag.com. They've got the Case IH Farmall series of tractors, which are great values, versatile performers, whatever it is that you need to get done. Bush hog equipment. They've got new equipment. They've got used equipment. They've serviced your current equipment. They do it all at Mid-South Ag Equipment. Phone number 662-890-3141. Again, online at midsouthag.com. But better yet, go see them in person at Mid-South Ag Equipment.
We open up Hour 3 talking golf with Mickey Barker. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we're honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing
just discovered J-Lab headphones, and I am totally hooked. J-Lab imagines and delivers personal tech, headphones, earbuds, and office accessories that consumers want. Try the J-Buds Lux over-ear headphones for noise-canceling travel. Discover your perfect pair of headphones. Look for the J-Lab Blue Box at Target, Walmart, Best Buy, and more. Or visit jlab.com.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Memphis, the playoffs are back. Come see the PGA Tour's best compete for the trophy at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, August 14th through 18th. Witness the drama as 70 players arrive in Memphis and only 50 move on. Tickets are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in town Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic still a little bit heavy out here trying to get up through the Midtown area. Right on schedule, actually, 240 north at Lamar. Just give yourself extra time out here. It remains pretty busy right now with some volume on 40 westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way up to Sycamore View Road. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry right here in the Memphis area. They specialize in bridal ring purchases. Go by and see them today. They've been around since 1984. Shop local. Save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry out there on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:05 the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. We'll talk golf with Mickey Barker in just a moment. We're broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, it's where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 78 degrees. We'll get up to 93 today. Sunshine, a few clouds. I liked it yesterday when there was more cloud cover, but it is what it is. Tonight, low of 76 with a few clouds. And then tomorrow, 88 degrees for a high with a little bit more clouds than sun. Only about a 25% chance of rain. I know we need some precipitation, but that should be a very nice day if you're walking around watching the Pro-Am over at the FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind. Hour number 3 of the program brought to you by our great friends at Jenkins Floors and More with their new warehouse now open at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, Mississippi. Go down and see the great folks, Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins, and all their great employees. If you're looking for flooring and carpeting, they sell it wholesale. Skip the middleman. Save you lots of money in the process for both residential and commercial. So homeowners, contractors, do yourself a favor. See what Jenkins Floors and More has to offer. They will install and do so with an unheard of 2-week turnaround. Financing is available. They'll come out, give you a free estimate. Instead of you having to go to them, they'll come to you. Military and first responders, 10% off. Sports 56 listeners, ask about your family discount. Great family, great service. It's Jenkins Floors and More. They're open Monday through Saturday. Again, located at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. They also have warehouses in Little Rock and in Cleveland, Mississippi. It's Jenkins Floors and More, third hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. Time now to talk some golf with Mickey Barker.
It's time to hit the links and talk some golf. It's Mickey and friends. Mickey Barker, administrator of golf for the Bluff City, joins Greg and Eli each week. Now here's Mickey Barker with Greg and Eli.
He is Mickey Barker. He is the golf administrator for the city of Memphis, also the Hall of Fame golfer from Lipscomb University. You can follow him on Twitter at MickeyBarker1. Can you believe it? After this week, we got 2 more weeks, and then we wrap it up, and we've really enjoyed having you on, Mickey. The time has just rolled by.
The summer really has just gone straight through very quickly. I guess, when you have as much going on as we did with the city courses, it kind of goes pretty fast.
That's right. It's the anticipation. When is Audubon going to open? When is Audubon going to open? And it has opened with flying colors from everybody I've talked to. You sent me this number, which blew my mind. Audubon, 3,023 rounds played in the first 11 days. That has to be a lot, right?
That is a tremendous amount. Everybody knows how busy Galloway is. Sometimes it's difficult to get a tee time. In the same time span, they played just over 2,000 rounds.
Oh, my gosh.
So if you can imagine that, another 1,000 rounds on top of that. It's been fantastic. We've gotten great reviews from everybody. They enjoy the golf course a lot. It plays very well. We've talked to some people that, higher handicaps that play some of the up tees, and they said it's absolutely a joy to play for them. And then we'll talk to some scratch golfers that play the back tees, and they love it. It's a challenge for them.
With obviously that open now, what you've done at Pinedale, what I guess is the next project the clubhouse out there? What is next versus the city golf?
Well, that is our next focus is getting the clubhouse funded and built there at Audubon. We hope to, in some way start construction next summer if everything goes well. But we'd have a lot of other projects too. We're pushing our focus to Riverside. Riverside is basically a park with some pushed up areas that are called greens. The common Bermuda's kind of taken those over through the years. Our irrigation system was put in probably in the 50s, and so it's completely past its lifetime. So we're going to have an emphasis on Riverside, maybe put an irrigation system in there, some new greens, really make that a great place to play for those people that are downtown.
What are the challenges for you guys as far as funding is concerned?
Well, when you're dealing with city government, city budgets, you're always constrained to some degree. We are one of the few departments that actually has revenue coming in. So we can offset some of our costs with revenue, so that helps. If we can show more revenue, then it's a little bit easier for us to get funding.
And that's, for when you're what goes into, because I've had many people ask me about Audubon and all this thing, but when you're setting greens fees at a golf course, how do you kind of go about doing that?
Well, we kind of look at what our costs will be. We put our costs in. We know what those are going to be, what it's going to take for chemicals, what it's going to take for especially labor, full-time labor, part-time labor. We put those things in, and then we start backing up from there. And then we also we do surveys around the Mid-South. We look at other courses, what they're charging. We still remember that we're a municipal golf course, so we're going to need to be a little less expensive than most. Audubon is right at the top of our scale, but it's also right in line with what privately owned public courses around the area charge.
So Friday night, I went to see John Fogerty at the Botanic Gardens, and I was wondering, well, do they still have the parking? Because that would be right at in the driving range. And, of course, they did, so the parking's there. But when you're talking about a driving range, it really doesn't have an effect that the cars are out there.
Right. It doesn't.
Just can't hit the balls at that time.
Right. We have to close the range down for that day, which since we were open, the Fogerty concert, which was fantastic, by the way.
You were there, too?
I was there, too.
It was great.
It was really, really good. That was the first time we had a concert since we've been open.
Okay.
Everything worked perfectly. They were able to park all the cars on the driving range. We never turned the turf on the driving range itself, except for the tee and a little bit of space right in front of the tee. That was all turf that remained from the old old area.
Okay.
And it's still nice and firm, no problems. We don't have any damage coming from the cars or anything like that. So it all works really well.
So you still, as we kind of get more into the fall rolling around here, but you guys still got some big city events coming up, correct?
We do. We're actually busier for the next 2 months than we've really been all year. We have one of my favorite events that we have of the year is our high school championship. We bring high school teams in from all around the Mid-South area, both public and private schools. We will have around 120 players, high school players. We don't charge them a penny. We feed them lunch. We bring them in for a one-day event, and it's really well received. We have a lot of great players. We have some players on the back end of that are just learning, but it is one of our best events of the year.
What day? What course?
That is we always have that at Fox Meadows, and that is coming up on the 23rd of August.
23rd of August. Okay, and what else you got coming up?
We got.
I know. Fox Meadows. Speaking of that, has their championship.
The Fox Meadows Championship
next day, isn't it?
Which is always, a pretty big event. It's on the 24th, so we'll have back-to-back events there at Fox Meadows. And then the one that a lot of people are looking forward to is the Audubon Championship.
I would imagine, yeah.
That'll be the first stroke play individual event that we have at Audubon, and that's coming up on September 7th. So we know we'll have a full feel for that. Looking forward to seeing how Bruno can set up the golf course and challenge those players on that day.
Is the sign up available? Can folks sign up right now?
Absolutely. You can go to memphispubliclinks.com, go to tournaments, and you can sign up right there. All the information from all of our events is right there on the website.
So that's the first event at Audubon, correct?
It'll be the first stroke play event. We've got some scrambles and things coming up.
Right, and scrambles and things like that, and me going out there and just playing with buddies doesn't matter. As far as setting a course record, I guess there's no course record yet, and whoever goes low in this would actually set the tone for the course record, right?
That's correct. That will be our first event where you can have under tournament conditions where you're counting every stroke.
Right.
USGA rules will apply to all of our play there, and so we'll be able to set a tournament scoring record on that day.
You also have the 4-ball championship September 14th and the 15th. Audubon, Fox Meadows.
Right. That's always a great event where you have a partner. 4-ball, everybody likes to have a partner when you play. And then probably our biggest event of the year is the Senior Amateur Championship, which will be at Fox Meadows and Pine Hill. That's coming up on September 25th or 26th through 27th. That is always a full event. We'll have close to 150 players for that event. Seems like our regular players that used to fill up the MAC have graduated a little bit toward the senior tournament. We'll have some great scores. It'll take well under par to win that event.
The MAC it's become a young man's game. These guys are looking for
the MAC attack,
a chance to compete.
Absolutely. Ed McDougal, Barry Stafford, David Apperson, those guys.
They know how to play.
They know how to play, and they'll be ready to go for the senior tournament.
What constitutes senior, by the way? What age?
That's 50 and above.
50 and above.
For tournaments, that is 50 and above.
Do you see more?
Next year I can play.
I'm long.
When is it? When are the dates of it?
September.
Oh, boy, I'll miss by a couple weeks.
Well, you can do it next year.
Yeah.
But, okay, 50 and above it constitutes senior. In the city courses, this is just a guesstimate on your part, what percentage do you think are seniors that play as opposed to non-seniors?
It's above 50%.
Yeah,
it's more than half of our play is probably senior players.
Okay.
The whole deal with the kids that could play for free, that still goes on right now?
It does.
School started?
It does. It goes on. Now, when they come out, when the city schools or Shelby County schools come out to play a match or whatever, there's no charge for them to play a match. Now, when other schools come, private schools or whatever, we do charge a nominal greens fee for them to come out and play matches. But on a regular basis, if kids want to come out and play, there is no charge. That is Saturday afternoons at Galloway. They have to come with a parent, and the kids don't pay. And then the short course at Audubon is always free for kids 17 and under.
What is the website again for all these events if people want to sign up for them, and also to go online to book a foursome for any of the courses?
Sure. MemphisPublicLinks.com. You can go on there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can book your tee time. Audubon, it's still prepay. You can go on there, prepay for your foursome, get signed up to play the golf course. The other courses are not prepay. You can go on and book your tee time, and you don't have to pay in advance.
By the way, I've been seeing on social media. Do you know how many holes in one do you have so far at Audubon?
We have not had any recorded as of yet.
Oh, you haven't had any? I thought I saw a couple people on social media that had holes in one.
I missed the social media
Their
stuff
word against
a little
Mickey's.
bit, yeah. But I haven't had any reported to our office yet, officially.
Another event that's coming up, and we're talking about October now, is the Hillman Robbins Cup. For those like myself who don't know a lot about that, Galloway Memphis Country Club. How does that work out?
It's a little bit odd. So the Hillman Robbins Cup is a Ryder Cup style format. We take 12 local golf professionals like myself, Sean McFetridge, Bruno Stralka, Austin Chin, PGA members that are around the city, and then we'll play against the top 12 amateurs on the city of Memphis points list from our tournament series. Over the last few years, the amateurs have really been pouring it on us. It's named after Hillman Robbins, that was the longtime golf professional at Galloway. So one of the rounds is always at Galloway. The last few years we've played both rounds at Galloway, but this year Brandon Mendes, who is the chapter director of the West Tennessee PGA, he asked us if we wanted to play the singles matches at Memphis Country Club, and we said, "Oh, absolutely, we'd love to." And so hopefully we can get a little bit of revenge on the amateurs, get them out of their comfort zone at Galloway, and get them over to a little more difficult, lengthy golf course at Memphis Country Club.
Who are some of the names of the amateurs?
Well, unfortunately, we have to play against the likes of Matt Cooper and those guys that play a little bit more golf than the local pros do.
All right.
Winburn Hughes is, of course, the reigning the MAC champion. He's pretty tough to beat, especially at Galloway.
Shot 61, right?
61 at Galloway, that's right.
Wow. All right, before we talk a little bit about the St. Jude the FedEx St. Jude Championship and get your thoughts on who do you think will come out victorious. We obviously have sad news. We reported on the radio. Dwight Drinkard, who was on with us not that long ago, passed away, unfortunately.
He did. We lost a great friend to the city golf courses last week in Dwight. He was instrumental in helping get the Overton Park Junior Open back up to the strength that it was many years ago. He was a great friend, and I told somebody the other day, I said he was the absolute most organized person I've ever met in my life. I first met him. He was organizing the MUS scramble, the fundraiser scramble that they have at Galloway. He came in. He had his 3-ring binder. He came in and had everything lined out. He said, "Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what you're going to do. And this is how it's going to go." And I was like, perfect. And it went exactly the way his 3-ring binder said it would, and it was fantastic. We're going to miss Dwight. The whole city of Memphis is going to miss him greatly.
If every tournament was like that, right?
Absolutely. He set the standard on organization for a golf tournament.
All right, so FedEx St. Jude Championship begins on Thursday. Top 70 from the FedEx Cup points. I think it's 8 of the 10 top 10 world-ranked players. All 70 will be here. Nobody's skipping it and moving right on to Colorado and the second event. Scotty, I don't know his track record here at Memphis. Hasn't played a ton at Memphis, but he will come in as the betting favorite and the number 1 player in the world. What do you think, and what does it take to win on this track?
Well, you got to play some really good golf. You got to drive it straight. You got to hit great iron shots to where you're looking, and you got to putt well. So it kind of falls right into Scotty's wheelhouse there. Rory, I know, plays really well at TPC Southwind. So I think between the two of them, I think it'll be pretty much a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This is clearly a ball striker's golf course. Scotty Scheffler is clearly the best in the world right now.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to control the distance on your irons so well at fairly fairly decent sized greens at Southwind, but you got to get it in the right spot, because if you get in the wrong spot, especially some of the par threes, if you get in the wrong spot on that green, you're in trouble.
Well, you mentioned the 1 and the 3 in the world rankings. Last year, Lucas Glover out of nowhere wins in Memphis. We've had big names and we've had not so big names win over the years, well before it was associated with the FedEx Cup. But you got the top 70 in the world, so really anyone's capable. But is there a dark horse or two that you would throw out there that could be right there on Sunday?
Well, this year seems to be, in the big events, it seems to be that the favorites have won. Between Xander and Scotty and Rory at some of the winning at Wells Fargo.
Right.
So it really seems like the dark horses are struggling a little bit more. But then again, like you said, anybody in that top 70 can win. I mean, these guys have made multi-millions to get into the top 70, have played well. So I don't know that. I would not pick a dark horse. I think it'll probably be out of the top 5 in the world.
Really?
But you never know.
I will say here, just again because of the ball striking and what happened last year. Aaron Rai, who just won last year, Glover did the back-to-back at the Wyndham and here. I couldn't believe what they said last week that Aaron Rai is 4th on tour in shots gained overall, right behind Scheffler, Schauffele, and Rory. That dude's ball striking is absolutely amazing. He's played here a few times before, and I don't know what his track record is here, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him do the double like Glover did last year.
He really hits it well. I'm not sure he's going to be able to handle the black gloves with the heat here in Memphis. But,
it's amazing. The double, the Tommy Two Gloves. Aaron Wright he has no credit for being the two glove guy because Tommy stole all the thunder years ago.
Right, and he may be the best player ever to play with two gloves.
Yeah. Jason Sobel, friend of the show, said, when heading to Memphis in August, pack some Gold Bond and try the hot chicken. I don't know if you want to try the hot chicken in Memphis when it's so hot, but yeah, Gold Bond would be a smart move. Mickey, as always, thank you so much. Enjoy the tournament. I know you're going to get out there on Friday, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Greg. Eli, see you guys.
He is Mickey Barker, the golf administrator of the city of Memphis, the Hall of Fame golfer from Lipscomb University. He joins us each and every Tuesday for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll wrap it up after the FedEx Cup. You can follow him on Twitter at MickeyBarker1. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. It's a simple call away. Just dial up Brandon McCullough. He's the owner and operator of the company, 901-438-5084, or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Locally owned and operated company. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month, same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket. Pinnacle does residential and commercial roofing, so business owners, property managers, along with homeowners. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. That includes carpentry work, exterior painting. You need to replace the gutters, they can do that for you. Install shingles, put up fencing, siding, rotten wood repair. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts. Quality work at a very reasonable price. That's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon at 901-438-5084. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, or check them out online at newroofmemphis.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's happening right now. You can save thousands
Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven 4 hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
Talking values, you got the thought process. 5-carat to 20-carat diamonds. Maximum values on all gold items. Prestigious gem wrapping.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry stores and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Special cuts, pear-shaped, emerald cuts.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text order to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 321321. That's order to 321321.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Lander Sport in Collierville, Lander Sport South in South Haven, and Lander Sport North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Lander Sport in Collierville, Lander Sport South in South Haven, or Lander Sport North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo price new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by James Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Lucas Glover was 60-1 pre-tournament before winning last year in Memphis, and he was coming off a win. That's how much of a long shot he was. We've seen guys like Abraham Answer win in the past. Daniel Berger's won a couple of times. I don't know. I mean, I hear what Mickey's saying, and it has been a year where the big names have won a bulk of the tournaments. Obviously, some of the lesser-known names won in events where you didn't have a full field with all the big names. You had a full field, but not all the big names. So these are the long shots that Jason Sobel has put on his website as far as possibly winning in Memphis. Sepp Straka at plus 6,600. Alex Noren at plus 8,000. Max Gracerman, who's the guy who last week, just this past weekend, blew the lead and ended up losing to Aaron Rye and finished second at Wyndham. Max Homa, plus 8,000. He's been quiet. He's due. Denny McCarthy, one of the better putters on tour, at plus 9,000. And Tom Hoagie at plus 10,000.
Could actually, well, on FanDuel right now, you can get Gracerman's at 10,000, Homa's at 10,000, Hoagie's at 12,000.
Wow, 12,000. Here's what he says about Hoagie. There's been a theme amongst the winners over the first 2 years that the FedEx St. Jude Championship has been a FedEx Cup playoff event. Will Zalatoris and Lucas Glover each had a reputation as guys who hit it like Ben Hogan and putted like Hulk Hogan. In each of those situations, though, something about these greens appealed to them, and they turned it around with the flat stick. Hoagie fits the same profile, but as we saw during his third-place finish at the Travelers Championship 2 months ago, his putter only needs to get a bit tepid for him to contend.
Zalatoris, who I don't know where he exactly is health-wise, everything else, but he's at plus 11,000 coming into this. Aaron Rye is at plus 5,000 again. And I don't remember when I bet Glover last year. I think I got Glover at like 20. I think it was after round one, and I got him at like 25-1 or something like that. I would not be surprised to see Aaron Rye win this week.
What is Russell Henley? And I'm trying to remember if he's had... I always think he's in there in Memphis, but I don't remember correctly, so I'm not going to sit here and guess.
Henley's plus 3,500.
Plus 3,500. Henley, very quietly, is one of the best golfers there is, but I don't know if he's good enough to beat this field in Memphis. That's why I got to go back and look at his history, his past history in Memphis. Obviously, he hasn't won, but I wonder if he's done well on this track. He's a guy I'd take a shot with if he has had good finishes.
Scheffler has never finished in the top 10 here. Now, granted, Scheffler has never been playing the golf that he is this year when he's come in here, but he's never finished in the top 10 in Memphis.
How about Schauffele? What about Schauffele? He hasn't had great tournaments, has he, here in Memphis?
I am not sure on him what he's done this year, or what he's done in Memphis. I'm not sure how many times he's played here. Or I'm not sure as far as he is concerned.
Yeah, Rory's done well. The University of Tennessee has struck a landmark deal with Pilot for branding rights to Neyland Stadium, but the venue's iconic name isn't going anywhere. This is according to the Knoxville News and Adam Sparks. The historic names of Neyland Stadium and Shields-Watkins Field will remain unchanged. That was the top priority of both Pilot, the Knoxville-based company, and UT in inking an agreement that will extend up to 20 years. So, what do they get out of this? You reach a 20-year deal. The figures aren't released here on this story I'm reading. Danny White says, the AD, that renaming Neyland Stadium was never on the table. They call it a huge deal that will help with the funding or help fund the ongoing $337 million renovation to Neyland Stadium. $337 million. I had no idea. But it doesn't say exactly what they get out of it, except that it is a 20-year deal. We've talked about this. We talked about it yesterday, I believe. But the Olympics over, the men's basketball team winning gold, and now the attention turns to 2028. We were talking about the strong possibility that Ja Morant could be on that team. I think he will be on that team. I saw the projected team from Jeff Goodman. Again, this is one person's opinion. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Zach, you could jump in as well as far as projecting the team for 2028. He has Ja on the team. Every list I've seen so far from people who have projected have Ja on there. He has Ja. He has Jalen Brunson. He has Tyrese Halliburton returning. He has Anthony Edwards returning. He has Devin Booker returning. He has Jason Tatum returning. He has Paolo Banchero. Cooper Flagg, who hasn't played 1 second yet in the NBA. Of course, you don't necessarily technically have to be an NBA player. We know that with Christian Laettner. Jaylen Brown on the team. Bam Adebayo would be a returning player. Chet Holmgren. And then Anthony Davis, a returning player. I don't think there's any way Anthony Davis is back. Is he?
He's healthy.
But that's a big if. And he has done a good job the last couple of years in getting his body ready for the rigors of the NBA, as opposed to the earlier part of his career when he seemed to miss time every single year.
He could be the old guy of that team.
The elder statesman. So what do you think about that team? Ja, Brunson, Halliburton, Booker, Edwards, Tatum, Brown, Paolo, Cooper Flagg, Bam, AD, Chet Holmgren.
They could be very good.
Do you think there's any way that 4 years from now, is Steph Curry still playing in the NBA? Is KD still playing? Is LeBron still playing? LeBron would be 43. Are any of those guys playing in the NBA 4 years from now?
Possibly. Steph and KD.
What do you think, Zach?
Maybe.
Well, how about an elder statesman being Steph Curry, who probably could be 90 and still make shots? I'm just wondering if we're going to go down.
I would say it would be more likely to be KD than Curry that would be on that team, but because they already said, what did they say the other day? They give him like a conditional yes right now or something like that for KD.
He's won 4 now? Is it 4? No, he's made 4 appearances, right? They've won now 5 they've won 5 straight golds?
Yeah.
So he's won 4 golds then, right? So he would attempt to come back, if he does attempt to come back, for a 5th time and a 5th gold.
Wouldn't be against it.
KD's 34 right now? 35? So he'd be LeBron's age, basically. What LeBron is now.
Right. I think it's doable with KD. 'Cause, I mean, it's not like you expect a lot of wear and tear on him, you know, because his game is more perimeter based anyway.
And he could be on the team and not
play.
Like he could be the Diana Taurasi.
I was just going to say, do you want like an all-time achievement award, like a Diana Taurasi thing? I don't think anybody was happy with the Diana Taurasi pick, except for her and her friends. Nobody wanted. I mean, we want new blood at times, don't we?
Yeah, but as long as KD doesn't lose his touch, like in my mind, he's playing.
And there's no chance. No chance. With
And
LeBron,
I didn't
right?
really hear a whole lot of complaining, but the only reason anybody would have had a problem with Diana Taurasi is because it wasn't Caitlin Clark. I don't think KD's going to go over somebody that would be the popularity of Caitlin Clark.
That's true. Although there were some that said even Angel Reese or somebody else deserved a spot over her. So there was that discussion. But you can't calibrate experience, leadership, things of that nature. There's no way LeBron is playing, right?
No.
Not to my knowledge.
Well, that's where Jeff Gibbons screwed up. He left Bronny off.
Okay.
I mean, there could be a couple of guys that are going to be entering the NBA in the next few years, but more than likely they wouldn't be 2028. They would be 2032. We'll see if Boozer, I know he's got the twins, right?
Yeah, Boozer twins.
But the one I think is a little better than the other.
Yeah.
I mean, but it could be somebody else around the block that we don't even know of. And obviously they already are considering Cooper Flagg would be a part of this team. But, yeah, I mean, if AD is back and Katie is back and Steph is back, that's 3 spots, man. You're not going to get a lot of these young players.
If Zion's healthy, Zion will be on that team.
Yes.
Okay. So if you added KD, You wouldn't add Steph, right? Or would
No.
you? So if you added KD and you added Zion, who would you take off from his list, from Goodman's list?
Well, Anthony Day. I think there's a better chance of the elder statesman probably being KD than Anthony Davis.
So would you be good going with Bam and Chet as your two bigs, your two
That's the only
centers?
thing. In my mind, that's the reason why I probably would have AD on the team. Because American bigs are kind of short and few in between.
How about Klingon?
There's not a lot of us. Not a lot of big men in America.
A lot of us?
Not the
You
not-
consider Zion
Yeah, I
the big
consider
man?
myself a big man.
not the big bruising type.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like that's we don't.
Klingon, Klingon could fit that.
Well, it might be that Embiid's back with us. It
I mean,
doesn't.
from what he
and-
said, he might play for Cameroon.
yeah, but he could end up playing for the U.S. again.
Yeah, he's in a weird, wild spot. And more than likely, he's not going to be France.
Yeah.
They hate him over
They
there.
don't
now.
like him right now.
He might want to play in America where he knows the crowd won't boo him. If he plays for Cameroon, they don't get booed. He'll be like, so in France, he chooses not to play for France. In America, he chooses not to play for America. He's just going to always play for not the home team.
He wants to be the most hated person in the world. But with Cameroon, I would imagine, Cameroon's not, they're going to have to qualify. All the teams have to qualify, but some are better than others. I don't know how good Cameroon is. So would he participate in I guess it would be 2027 with Cameroon and go through the whole qualifying stage? Or would he not and then take the chance that Cameroon wouldn't qualify? And then he wouldn't have a choice there. I don't know. It's kind of weird with Embiid. Kind of rubs me the wrong way. But, hey, look. He has the option. That's the way it is. Them are the rules, as they say. And he was a part of the good old U.S. of A. But
we are a 1-2 favorite to win gold in 2028.
1-2.
France is 4-1, which is the closest it's ever been.
And they're going to be better. France is going to be better when you add these young guys, assuming that Rishashir and Sarr are the players that they think they could be. But you said you would replace AD with KD, and then you would add Zion. So Zion would have to replace somebody. Who would it be? Who would you not have on the team?
I don't know. There's going to be probably people that don't want to play or are hurt and everything else.
No, I understand.
I just think Zion will be on the team if he's healthy. There's a good chance Zion won't be healthy or whatever. But I think if he's healthy and he plays, he's like that season before that, Zion has played 60 games, 65 games and healthy and wants to play in the Olympics. I think Zion is on that team.
By the way, a healthy Ja and a healthy Zion with those alley-oop passes and things of that nature, that'd be kind of fun.
Transition game would be unstoppable.
Oh, you get Ja and Anthony Edwards and Zion out there together running up and down the court.
What were we going to say, Zach?
By the way, Cameroon, so far, I recognize 3 players that could play in the next Olympics the next 4 years.
Who are they?
Obviously, if Embiid decides to say, let me play for Cameroon in 4 years, one of his teammates will possibly be Pascal Siakam.
Okay.
Who's from Cameroon.
Good player.
You also have Christian Koloko, who used to be I think he's still with the Raptors, if I'm not mistaken.
Heard of him.
So there's some NBA guys.
But Siakam's really good. So, yeah. All right.
Moving can be stressful, but when you get the professionals to do it for you, to help you with that move, well, makes it a lot easier on you, that's for sure. Don't try and do it yourself. Don't try and ask your friends to do it. Get the professionals, Black Tie Moving. Then you can worry about other things without having to think about where are my belongings going to get there, what's going on, are people breaking things? No. Folks at Black Tie Moving, as professional as you can get. You're going to know that your belongings are getting exactly where they need to go without any issues, without any problems. Heck, you get a moving concierge throughout the process to answer any questions that come up. So if there's some question that you do have that comes up, well, you just give them a call, and they're there answering those questions for you. There's a reason they got 5-star ratings all over the place online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. People that use Black Tie Moving, well, they rave about the experience they have with Black Tie Moving. All you got to do is give them a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk to the folks at Black Tie. They work with you coming up with a plan for your move that both fits your needs and fits your budget. And they're going to give you that no obligation quote up front so you know exactly what it's going to cost. Again, Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
Final segment on the way. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsofMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quicky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Gotta change my oil.
How about Valvoline Restore and Protect? It restores and protects your engine to run like new.
Get in the zone,
It restores your engine to, like, factory clean?
And protects.
Get in the zone.
So Valvoline Restore and Protect restores and protects.
Now you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for $37.99.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Getaway Sports Club. Best kept secret in town. Open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garden created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Come up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town. Pool stick and get you some good bar talk. Chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 p.m. On Megan District 25. Getaway Sports Club. 4632 Winchester.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it all. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the big green egg and accessories. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51, 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement. Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Yesterday, we talked about the story with Boston Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran and his anti-gay slur towards a heckler at Fenway Park in Boston. It was heard on a hot mic. Well, as expected, he has been suspended. In consultation with Major League Baseball, the Red Sox on Monday issued an unpaid 2-game suspension to Duran. It will begin tonight with their game against the Texas Rangers at Fenway Park.
Not a very smart thing to do.
No. Reaction, though, mixed, mostly in support of the suspension and the fine. But, well, the fine being the 2 games that he will not be paid. That money is actually going to a particular cause. In fact, I'll tell you who it goes to. It's called PFLAG, the Federation of Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, the United States' largest organization dedicated to supporting, educating, and advocating for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people and those who love them. But again, the reaction, as I said, a little bit mixed. Somebody on X responding said, then suspend the entire league, all of them, every single player. Or do we only care about this because he was caught by a poorly placed boom mic? Major League Baseball suspending a player for a self-inflicted wound is peak MLB, constantly passing the buck. I don't agree with it. Not every player says things like that.
Yeah, I mean, there are guys that don't get caught because the mic doesn't pick them up. But yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, this was heard, and it is what it is.
Right? It's like,
You're going to surprise. I mean, everybody watching the game on TV heard him say that. So.
Yeah, you're going to give me a speeding ticket just because I got caught? Everybody's speeding. You might as well give a speeding ticket to everybody. Well, no, you got caught. There is ramifications of being caught, and that was a ramification of being caught. That's pretty simple. It's not the end of the world. It's a 2-game suspension. In this day and age, you can't. Come on.
And he's had kind of the dream season with the All-Star Game MVP, all that stuff. And this is I think he'll be smarter the next time. Listen, I get from my day growing up, like, I'll admit, like, that's stuff we said to people. It wasn't meant in any, it was just a thing you said. But I know in today's world, you don't say that stuff.
So here's that 12-team playoff that I talked about earlier. Andy Staples using Ralph Russo's formula, which is basically, I believe, the last 10 years of the 4-team playoff and then coming up with the analytics. His 12-team playoff for this year, again, going by history, Georgia's the 1 seed, Ohio State's the 2, Florida State's the 3, UCF is the 4 seed, so winning the Big 12. The 5 seed is Oregon, playing number 12, Appalachian State. The 6 is Alabama, playing number 11, West Virginia. So West Virginia's in, and so I was wrong about Nebraska. And you got 8 Tennessee versus 9 Oklahoma, and 7 Ole Miss versus number 10 Iowa. So in this scenario, you would have how many from the SEC? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd have 5. It would be Georgia. It would be Alabama. It would be Ole Miss. It would be Tennessee. It would be Oklahoma. And Texas would not even be in the playoff. That would be shocking.
That would be surprising. That's for sure. Genesis Diamonds. Folks, right now, great opportunity, 20% discount off their already amazing everyday low prices at Genesis Diamonds. That's on all GIA certified diamond rings. That's right. Values you never thought possible, from a half carat to 20 carats, whatever size, whatever shape, whatever cut, whatever it is. GIA certified diamond rings, 20% off at Genesis Diamonds. This ends on Sunday at 5 p.m., though. So take advantage of this great opportunity this week as your time is running out. Genesis Diamonds, Poplar, and Perkins Extended. Tomorrow is the Pro-Am out at TPC Southwind for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. I've got 4 tickets for tomorrow. If you want to go out to the Pro-Am, just be caller number 4 for 4 tickets to go see, probably with the amateurs playing, some guys yelling 4. So 4 for 4 for 4. If you want to head out there tomorrow, 4 tickets for caller number 4, 360-8255, 360-8255. Caller number 4, 4 tickets for tomorrow's Pro-Am out at the FedEx St. Jude Championship.
Victor Hovland, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele will all meet the media today. Then tomorrow, after playing their 9 holes, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, all scheduled to talk to the media as we get this thing going. Again, we're out there tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, giving you wall-to-wall coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We have our winner. That was fast. Thank you, and enjoy. We appreciate it. Thank you to Connor O'Gara for joining us on the program. Thank you to Mickey Barker, and thank you as well to the president and CEO of ALSAC, Rick Shadiak. Tomorrow from TPC Southwind, among our guests, our good friend Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. DeMichael Cole will join us to talk some Grizzlies. We'll have some other special guests as well. Join us from TPC Southwind beginning at 7 a.m. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.